So what's up, everybody? Juice is Loose podcast. We're back. Took a week off, and
just wasn't feeling it.
Wasn't feeling it. I'm still not feeling it. Game of Thrones got me feeling a certain way. I'm just
Game of Thrones got everybody stressed the hell out.
Yeah,
I'm pretty salty.
Yeah, you're playing the Drake soundtrack.
I'm almost want to take that, I don't know, anger, if you will, and I'm kind of bitter about something else, like in this YouTuber. I might go there, but let's just let's just start. It's been a while. I'm trying to think of what's happened in the last 2 weeks to start.
State of play.
Yeah, state of play. Terrell, you said there was a couple topics. What do you
see? You can't even think about anything.
What about E3?
I was going to say E3.
We got time.
E3 is like next month. I think that's why it's so low right now on news and shit.
Yeah.
Actually, because I'm about to say, because the next few weeks, if we're going to do that thing where we separate each of the companies.
Oh, we got till.
No, a lot of these thirsty
next
YouTubers already made their predictions and shit.
Well, I mean, you listen.
We only got two
if you want that ad revenue, T, that's what you got to do.
Dude, the shit with those videos pisses me off. You got like people who they're literally uploading like E3 predictions, and like a couple of days later, like the games of 2019. These videos are exactly the fucking same.
Same shit.
I told you it's hard out here on the YouTube streets.
All right, so let's start with a topic I know is not going to get too much conversation, and that's kind of something I brought up, and I made a poll like 4 weeks ago, talking about a boost mode on the Switch, and if Nintendo enabled a boost mode to overclock the system, and it would just make games run at a consistent frame rate or whatever. Would you use it if the downside was basically the fan would run, you'd have a lot more fan noise, and I didn't even point out in portable mode it'd just be shorter battery life. And then I made a video saying Nintendo or hackers do what Nintendo don't, and I really called out Nintendo, and I got to eat some crow because the thing I said they should do and that what hackers were doing, they've actually done, which has surprised me. They actually have allowed, and Shadow Fox said this was there, and I'd never heard that before, so he was right. Got to give him credit. They have allowed developers for portable mode only at this point. They've done two, basically not revisions, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like pre-programmed overclocks, basically for the GPU for portable mode. First, it went from like 307 to 380 megahertz for just better performance. Now they've jumped it up to like 460 or 480, which is a 50% increase over the day one. So now that developers in portable mode have access to a lot more GPU power, which Mortal Kombat 11 is actually taking advantage of 100%. Like the portable mode is running at that speed the whole time. So it's actually allowed them to get that game near 60 frames in portable mode without making
in 220p.
Yeah, it's still at low resolution, but Digital Foundry did a test on the base 307 megahertz. The game was running at like 35 average. So I mean it helped, and they did real quietly. They didn't announce it. They didn't tell anybody. It just was discovered that they've actually allowed that for developers, and I guess I'm thinking that's why games like Mortal Kombat and Doom Eternal and some of these other games are. In Hellblade, I'm guessing they didn't test that game, but so it's just one of those things where it's like they didn't talk about it, they didn't brag about it, they just made it available, and developers have the option now. And I'd like to see some updates. Terrell, I know you probably still play a little bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and you like portable mode. So
hey man, listen,
I was just about to say that.
Don't sit here and like try to expose me. I don't need to be out here in these streets, motherfuckers. Already get on me.
I was just playing, 2. And I was surprised at how it looked.
Yeah, so maybe they've already implemented it. I don't know.
It looks a lot better than that Vaseline smear that it used to have over
it. Oh, chill out, yo.
Because people noticed with the last Switch update, which happened while we're on air, they loading times have been decreased on Zelda and Mario Odyssey, and then Digital Foundry proved like the clock speed from the CPU goes from 1,000 megahertz to like almost 1,800, 1.8 gigahertz or whatever. So that's making load times in certain instances greatly reduced. So it's like they're tweaking the system, which I think is really cool, and I'd like to see more of that to continue, and maybe that's a prelude to like a revision, or maybe that's just what their solution's going to be to keep the Switch as relevant as possible, as long as possible.
Do you know what I found really annoying about the faster loading times of Zelda? Is that in today's modern age, when you're playing games and they're loading, I like to look at my phone in between.
Yeah.
And now I don't have the time. It's kind of like a break from the game. And
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, it is quicker.
And it's like, oh shit, God, I can do it.
Yeah, this initial load time's it's like 30% of what it used to be. It's like way quicker, but then the fast traveling once you're in the game's not as much of a improvement. But still, I mean, it's a smart use of, you're not gonna fry people's switches because it only does it for loading time when there's no other like GPU load or anything. And it's like, I like that they're doing that.
I got a Switch Pro for free.
Yeah.
Now, they just clocked it. His save states. His more save slots for the game. He'd be happy.
I agree with that 100%. I want to start a new quest. I don't want to delete my old one, and I don't want to create a new account to do it.
I still got my
It's
original
stupid.
fucking SNES and N64 Zelda saves, man. They're special things,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Especially with that tracking thing that tracks all your up to 200 hours of your journey.
Yeah.
So
There's a fierce debates over that, man. I was like, come on, can't you see? What's going
yeah, he
on?
had some defendos in that conversation. So
It's like we had this before. It's not like we asked for something we never had. We've had this for decades. Can we just have what we already had?
and it's
Can we
not like the save
argue about
files.
that?
The save files aren't that big for Zelda. Like it's
No.
I mean, it's nothing, especially compared to NBA save files, 5 gigs. I mean, you're talking a couple hundred megabytes.
Saves in the game. You got your save and the auto save.
Yeah, I deleted my NBA stuff, and my Switch was like, "Oh, thanks, I'm free."
Hey, thank God.
Because that's internal storage that's just like
Yeah,
occupied. Even if you're not, even the save file doesn't use all that, it still has to be allocated just in case.
yeah,
It's like when you get a pre-authorization on your card, it doesn't charge your card right there, but that money is not available if you want to buy something else.
yeah. Just think about playing Madden back in the day. How much it would eat up your entire memory card.
Oh, the whole memory card, the original GameCube. That's why I was, Nintendo's been doing stuff for years. Like, I know a lot of people like to think it's just the Switch, and we've commented about some of the practices with the Switch and over maybe price gouging and stuff. But the GameCube memory cards, they were only $20, but there was games that they had to make compromises to make your save file fit on one card.
Yeah.
And it's like they thought everyone would just buy a game and buy a memory card to go with it and have
$80.
It's like, no thanks. I waited my ass until the 128 whatever, the black one.
The black memory cards. Yeah, I got like 2 of those. But 4 of the grey ones is fucking.
Yeah, the grey ones were like 56 megabits or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Animal Crossing took up a whole card, but I think they if I remember correctly, they packaged the Animal Crossing memory card with the game, didn't they?
Yeah, but even then, you could have 4 accounts on the same fucking game.
Right. That was.
Yeah, that was an argument I didn't want to. I wanted to chime in, but I didn't want to see the dumb replies. That one
doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's like I'm sorry. Who was it? Oh shit! I can't think of his name. Who was the guy that was debating you the hardest?
Not worth mentioning. Let's move
Not
on.
worth mentioning. He is literally the biggest defendo.
I know who it is. That's right.
I've ever seen, and
of all time.
Isn't Gamers at Large break up? Partly on his shoulders. Yeah.
It's
So
a sore spot.
he has all the ideas, for the 3DS. It's
Everyone's like, "Oh, just create a second account." You know how stupid it is to switch accounts every time you fucking log on your
It's
Switch,
so stupid.
especially if it's just your Switch. Clocked, you have to deal with that anyway. But for me, like, I created a second
It's
account.
horrendous, man.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna start Zelda over, and I'm like, this every time I boot up my system, pick a game, I have to select an account or profile. I was like, this is stupid.
And it's off in another region where you'll never even touch it unless you're playing Zelda. So it's just off somewhere, another account that you're never going to use for anything
I tell you what I
else.
hated as well when you create the Japanese account. The real things that bug me is that when you got your Japanese account on your Switch, and you use it, then the news feed on like your Switch becomes
the news feed is all Japanese. What does that mean?
it sits there for ages until you use like,
It won't go away.
Oh man, I annoyed the crap out of me. I was like, go away, please.
Well, I think this is a new thing on YouTube because I just deleted like 40 subscriptions, whatever channels I was subscribed to, cleaned out my subscriptions, and but they videos still show up. What is that?
You need to see
won't
it.
Go away.
You can't not.
Maybe you got to
it.
uncheck the bell and then before you unsub them. I don't know.
That's even when
I
the bell
don't
works.
check the bell for anybody, so
Bell doesn't even normally work.
Yeah, it doesn't work for shit anyway. So
I don't know. I've been unsub from like Juice or Retro for ages, but it keeps showing up. You know, I can't get it.
I don't make enough videos for those.
I was gonna do I really want to do a Juice opinions on a topic, and I just was like, you know what? I woke up thinking about it. I have all these ideas, planned all these points I want to make, and then I got home and was like, I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings. So I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
you want to chime in on the Pro Jared controversy?
Hey,
I don't even know enough about it.
Chill out. Don't bring it up. That was the funniest day on Twitter, but don't break that shit had me dying.
Unbelievable.
You see a dude like that with his fucking naked pictures online, and you're just like, I don't think I need to see this today.
Yeah, why are gamers talking about this? Get the hell out of here with
Hey
this.
man, listen. He reviews video games, T.
It affects me. Shut the fuck up.
And he also cheats on his wife, piece of shit. But hey, listen, I got my 10% revenue, bitch. That's all I got to say. I was covered.
Exactly. I got my donations on my 3-hour live stream.
It's like, guys, let's have a serious conversation.
We won't talk about that though.
About cheating in video games.
But getting back to T's point, yeah, I unsubbed from Beyond the Trailer like a year ago. But almost every Monday I get my suggested videos or the box office breakdown for the week for the movie.
Because she found that YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
That YouTube algorithm.
I do watch those videos because I could watch those. I cannot stand her fucking reviews and her casting ideas.
You need more diversity. Shut the fuck up.
I just can't. You watch a review and you go 10 minutes and you're like, you didn't even talk about the movie. You're talking about all this political nonsense.
All this political shit. Like, can we just talk about the goddamn movie?
I couldn't tell you if she liked Detective Pikachu or not, but she said a lot. Just I couldn't tell you how she felt about the movie.
Diverse cast. Kiss my black ass.
I gotta. Since you brought it up, I gotta ask: when you see like a white person saying stuff like that, does it bug you more?
It definitely, yeah.
Yes.
Does it bother me more? Probably not more.
It bothers me more.
I think I get more annoyed if I hear black people say it or people of color say it. But it does annoy me too. It's just like, stop.
Yeah, when that's the one thing about the Captain Marvel, what's her face? It's like,
I still don't know what the controversy with that.
Beautiful Caucasian woman got a big role, and she was asked about it. It's so hard to be an actress, especially if you're a woman of color. It's like, then give your role to somebody of color.
Exactly. Give it to the black chick that used to be Captain Marvel.
Yeah. This is what happens when you spend all this time trying to shame white people for dumb shit. No one gives a fuck.
There's plenty of good shit to shame white people over, not this dumb.
Hey, listen, you've had Black Panther. Okay, that's your shit now for the next 20 years. So
yeah, 20
You
years
mean-
a slave, bitch.
You
Oh,
mean
yeah.
Black Panther?
that's all we're getting.
That's cool. It's terrible, yo.
when Blake comes back, he's
We're off the rails here.
Indian.
Y'all already talking about movies and TV shows beforehand. I already know how this is gonna go. So
Blade
I
would
know
like to have Blade has something to say about all the talk about Black Panther being the first African American superhero.
I know that's it's just so it's like they don't watch movies. Like, are you serious?
I'm sorry, I went to all 3 Blade movies in the theater. I loved every second. I didn't not for once was like,
Even 3?
oh, this guy's why is this superhero black? Like I just enjoyed the movie, you know. Like
Now look, on the flip side of that,
I just imagine
Wesley Snipes, you know, he's the blackest motherfucker on the planet.
yes.
there is something to be said for black kids, especially wanting to see somebody that looks like them being in a big role where there's a lot of money behind it, because we didn't really we had Blank Man and Meteor Man. You know, like
Hey man, Blank Man was a cool dude though. Blank Man was a cool ass dude.
But you know that movie cost $10 to make, so it's just like it's good to have that.
Joe.
But let's not like start making movies based off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's think of that first before we think about the damn movie. That's insane.
Oh my god!
Somebody said Blade 3 director's cut is okay. I've never seen the director's cut.
I haven't seen that.
I doubt it.
That's what always
But
bothers me.
David
where,
Bowie
like,
was the problem with Blade, so I don't know how the director's cut could be better.
it always bothers me when like you have to be positive because else you're racist and that kind of shit. It's like Black Panther was a shitty fucking movie. I don't care if like a black guy was like a superhero. It was a bad movie.
I wouldn't say it was shitty.
Yeah,
say it was
I would say it was quite average. You know,
yeah, it's what makes it better is the villain. That's literally the most redeeming thing about it.
But it was a very average Marvel film.
The ending was terrible. The third act was terrible.
Everyone kept saying Wakanda forever for 6 months, and I wanted to shoot somebody.
you know what I really liked about without giving spoilers and shit. You know what I liked about Endgame and shit? That you finally got to see Black Panther do some shit.
All right, relax. All right.
Yeah, he did some good stuff.
No, listen, we're gonna
we're going off the rails.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Save this movie.
Y'all can't be trusted
For TV channel, his movie channel.
at all,
right?
yo. Just put
Yeah.
this
That's done
on
with my
TV channel,
review, by
yo.
the way.
I
so
would
check
put
that
Black
out.
Panther in the same realm as Shovel Knight, whereas Shovel Knight's
What?
not a bad game,
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't get it before.
but the game of the year praise and all that talk,
yeah,
based on compared to what I felt the game was, I feel Black Panther's like identically, because it got nominated for best film at the Academy Awards. I think
that's a joke.
it's the same scenario.
I'd probably put it in the realms of God of War and Spider-Man.
But
Yeah, that's how I roll.
Fuck those games.
but it's just like I went in like, okay, everyone loves this movie, so I went in with those that, just like with Shovel Knight, went in with these huge expectations. I'm like, really? This is
It was very average.
this is the first Captain America type of Marvel film. Like it's on that level for me.
Come on, that first Captain America is fucking great, yo.
No, it
I
isn't.
like that.
I think y'all, it's better.
It's good.
No, it's good.
I actually like Black
It ain't
Panther
great.
better though.
Oh, yeah, that's only.
Yeah, but you thought Lord like fucking Paddington was better than Lord of the Rings. Your opinion doesn't count anymore.
Welcome to the
Paddington
podcast,
is
y'all.
legendary status.
All right, let's get to some video games.
Welcome to the state of the Juices Loose podcast address. My name is-
Anybody got any video game topics?
Thanks, Retro.
Yeah, I mean,
E3, yo.
We got like 2 weeks till E3
Okay.
topics start.
All right, listen, we might as well address the state of play because
That's what we.
it is gaming related, and there are a few things to talk about. So first,
Yeah, I just want to start by saying
did you
maybe
watch?
because we're used to the Nintendo Directs and stuff. I heard people saying like this should have been E3 for Sony and stuff like that, and I feel because that's what Nintendo fans do.
I like that Joker laugh, yo.
Nintendo fans do the same thing with every Direct, but I'm like, it was 10 minutes.
Dark shit.
Sony doesn't have a whole lot. They're at the end of the generation. I mean, what do you expect it to be? I don't understand. So that was my take. I
don't know why the expectations would have been that
We're gonna why? Because Cincinnati E3, it's like we need something.
I guess there is that. They're not going to E3.
I think if they were going to E3, it wouldn't have been that big.
But that doesn't change the fact that their last batch of games is still far off, and I mean it's 5.5 years into the generation. It's like 2011 for the
want them to
Wii.
go out with a bang, though. You know, I'm just.
I think they will, but I wasn't expecting like a Last of Us blowout.
You know, you know what lowered my expectations? The last State of Play. That's what lowered my fucking expectations. Because the fucking VR obsession that came out of that one. And this one, in comparison, was a better showing.
Yeah, I thought it was way better than the first one.
It was a better showing, and it was shorter.
It was better, but it was better than dog shit. So.
Hey, listen, T, chill, bro. I already knew this was coming. All right, listen. All right. First of all,
people but I'm just saying it because I'm seeing videos of people flipping out. Oh my god, I'm shocked how good it was. I'm like, because it was dog shit before, like, and it wasn't that. It's actually decent this time. So now it's great.
The best game was the
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Nah, the survival game where you're a skunk or some shit.
Bruh.
Flying squirrel or something.
You're a sugar glider. I actually have one of
a flying squirrel. Yeah,
that thing. I wanna be that.
It actually looked like an original cool idea. I don't know if the game will be fun.
It reminded me of
I think it's kind of
Deadly Creatures.
Deadly Creatures on Wii.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. That's what it reminded me of.
I honestly, no, I'm not joking. Like, that's actually the one game that I looked down like, oh shit, I could be like.
I just wanted this to be on record that a fucking presentation that had Monster Hunter and Square and Medieval and Final Fantasy VII, and Robert chooses the small tiered indie game that's like a fucking flying squirrel. Now listen, I'm not hating on your taste. I'm just saying
because it's something different.
Most people look at you and be like,
"Yeah, I mean, come on."
I forgot about all the other stuff. That's the only game that stood out in my memory.
Because everyone's always like,
"What were you thinking about then?"
I'm with Robert on this one. Like, that game definitely looked the most interesting to me. I mean, you got Final Fantasy again, great. I don't even care anymore about at this point in shit, you know.
But I mean, it's a different developer. It does look different.
No, I know that, but it looked very much the same.
Yeah, but for example, then you got Medieval, and it's like T said, you know, all of a sudden it's like everybody's fucking favorite game. But I mean, I'm like a guy who's like, I have very low standards that I need have, you know, to enjoy a game. But I mean, Medieval, that. What I was expecting from like a full remake, I mean that looked like a remake that they would have done like on the
PS3.
I don't know.
PS3 maybe.
It did not look. I don't know if
they said what I thought it would be.
At first, I thought, okay, it's really early footage. It's all jittery and shit. You know, it's gonna get better. But then they said it's gonna come out in like a couple of months.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know.
Literally, like the only other game they got for this year.
They need to change the name from Medieval to Mediocre.
What Medieval was? I was working in Electronics Boutique when Medieval released, and Medieval was another one of those 3D PlayStation games that it was just like, holy shit, the N64 got all these amazing 3D action games. What the fuck are we going to do? And then
and PlayStation has these 8-directional
warping walls.
Nuts about it. The same people who went nuts about fucking Pandemonium. Look at this fucking game, it's fucking incredible. This fucking Pandemonium is fucking trash. And so it's fucking Medieval. It's just give up. Just shut the fuck up. I was there when people played this shit. It was trash back then, and it looked fucking trash. No, I can't believe how fucking bad the game looked.
The gameplay, does. I never played it. I never seen it being played, but this is definitely the bottom of the barrel.
That's why I'd rather play Juice.
I'll put it this way: Medieval is one of the because I only found out about Medieval a few years ago when I was watching a Let's Play channel I follow played the hell out of the game. And I was like, it looks fine, and I'll say visually it does look like a step up for obvious reasons.
Well, yeah,
that gameplay does not seem like it's aged well, like at all.
No, it looked terrible, but
it was never good. That's the thing people need to understand. It was never
just like
good.
Crash.
Yeah, it wasn't good back then. Like it was all right. I mindlessly went through that game.
I could understand the Crash trilogy, Spyro trilogy makes sense, even the Crash Racing, but this a single game that most people didn't even care about back then.
Well,
and it
two
looks,
of them.
Was there?
Why didn't they remake both of them?
They're only doing one, and if you had asked me before that announcement, if you said the word medieval, I wouldn't have even known what you're talking about because I had forgotten completely about that game over the last 20 years. And so it just like they're really drawing from the bottom of the barrel now, like because it worked so far. It's been working. They haven't been making new versions of these old games. They've just been they're just copying with better visuals what was there before. And
What's
I mean
next?
that takes a lot less. And they still got to do a lot of work and stuff, but it takes a lot less than designing levels and game, mechanics and all that. That they just got to basically make it look better and copy everything else. And even Nintendo's probably going to be doing something very similar with Link's Awakening. It's a way better game to start with. They're just doing a visual upgrade and probably going to stay very close to the original. So I mean, I don't mind it in general, but for this game, it's just like.
But that gameplay ages way better than Medieval.
And Nintendo still, when they do something like that, they still adapt the gameplay. So I'm pretty sure, like, Link's Awakening is going to adapt the gameplay, and feels like with Medieval, it plays like exactly the same, with the same speed and the same reactions and everything.
Yeah, them controls, the way you move, just like is off. It's just off. In that game.
I have a theory in all of that, because like you got like Uncharted DLC, and then you got Ratchet and Clank, which I do like, the Ratchet and Clank remake, and now you got like the Medieval remake. I think this E3 we're gonna see PlayStation All Stars 2.
That's what I was gonna say. What's next?
Ironically enough, almost most of those because the main character from Medieval was in the original All Stars game.
That's why I'm saying it.
He was, yeah.
The problem with All Stars though was the non-attachment to these characters.
No, it was also
All Stars was in a bad game.
System. Yeah, the battle system was fucking garbage, yo.
I heard people that liked it, but it's just
you also heard people who killed themselves, and that wasn't a smart idea either.
even a diehard Steel Fox really he really liked PlayStation All Stars. The mechanics, he just says the balancing was non-existent. There was just dominant characters that were so overpowered, and they never fixed. And then just no one who cares about any of the characters.
Well,
basically,
they let that studio go like within minutes releasing that game.
Yeah, but I think it came out. It got a few DLC characters, and that was it.
They did put out a patch like a year after everyone thought it was done.
It was such a weird thing. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But that gameplay is just garbage. I want that to be stated. That's just granted, that's my opinion, but I don't.
I never played it, but it mechanically it never looked right to me.
I know what else I wanted to talk about, and we can go right into it right now, and that's Smash Brothers.
Gross.
The items versus no items debate.
What?
Oh, is that still a thing?
Going from?
Where? What the hell?
I wanted to talk about that because I know there's people on both extremes, and after the last few months of playing Smash Ultimate, I'm to the point now, and I know the argument. The argument is, well, Mario Kart is fun because of the items, so Smash is fun because of the items, But even playing on probably about 40% of the regular stages with the stage hazards, like I'm so done with any of that nonsense. I mean, it doesn't have to be Omega stages, even though the last, I think 2 times that's what it was. But for me, I'd never turn the item
well, maybe
again.
maybe we should go around. Maybe we should go around the board.
Let's go around
where
and
we
see
stand first.
So I'm on the stance that if the next Smash game, I'd be completely fine if it didn't have items as an option. That's where I stand. Clocked it.
What do you mean you'd be completely fine with no items as well?
I just told you. I never want to play with items ever again. That's what I mean.
What you're saying is that if the next Smash Bros came out and it was stripped of all items and
I'd be fine.
It's this stuff, and it was just the fighting game that you'd be fine with that.
He just said he'd be fine
for
with
me.
It. He didn't say that they need to do it.
I just thought he meant, well, we can turn off items now, but okay, fine. For me, I'm really not bothered. I enjoy both modes, and I play both modes. I play with my friend in work on a Wednesday or a Thursday in the afternoon, and we play with items on. There are times where I find probably on when you like playing just one-on-one, like assist trophies are just too overpowered and too annoying for me. So I don't like those on. But generally, I have no problem with items, and I'm happy to play both ways. I honestly am. The only thing I don't like is Smash, the super large stages. they annoy the shit out of me. So if we got rid of those, then fine. I'd prefer 8 players on smaller stages, just in constant chaos, kicking each other's ass.
Yeah, those big stages are annoying with like 2, 3, 4 players. But all right, Retro, where do you lie?
When I play, always I put items on, but on low, so they don't appear often because I don't like being oversaturated with them, and I always turn off the dragoon blaster and that ship, both items that are in 3 parts, because once one of those items drop, the whole battle you only get those items, and I don't like that. But I have just as much fun without items, and I mean that. It doesn't change anything for fun. I prefer items on, but for the fun, it doesn't change anything. I like just having the characters, but I can't do Final Destination shit because my favorite thing is when a battle moves around and you have like walls to jump over and to hide behind and to do shit and everything. That's what I think is the most fun. So I can do no items, but I can't do Final Destination.
Yeah, I like most of the moving stages too. To be clear, I just the ones with the fucking stage hazards. Really, it just for me it seems like they spend so much time on the mechanics, like to add just some random element. But anyway,
No, but stage hazard, for example, can be turned off. But whenever you do Final Destination with 4 people like we do, the whole game becomes okay. Who gets to stand on the floor and just smack everybody around? And that's not fun to me.
And the answer is you.
Well, you're the biggest character. That's your fault. Anyway, Robert, where do you stand?
I love items. No, I can't stand them. So I always thought, everyone that I was ever played with never liked items, and so I always just never cared for that shit. Especially, the more I played it, the more. And everyone always thinks, well, it's for fun, and I'm like, why can't you just have no items and also have fun? I just don't understand that mentality.
Yeah,
that's how I am.
No,
that's how I am. I like fighting. I even remember every time I was with the Omega stages. I don't like having random shit. I just want to face a person and fuck them up. That's what I want to do. And like that's the way I have fun in Smash, just by smashing, right? And so it's like, to me, it's like items are so random and they're so distractions, and they're all some type of bullshit. So when the friends that I have, they all want to play with items, and I was so confused the first time. They're like, "Where's the items?" I'm like, "What? I never played Smash with them." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they all wanted items. I felt disgusted. I was like, "Oh my god!" And so I would play with items, and I would still win every single time. But still, it's like
you gotta throw that in there.
Because they don't play. I gotta clarify too. I'm not saying I want the next game to not have items. I'm just was trying to stress my disdain for items.
I'm just saying you don't care if you didn't have it.
The option's there. The option should stay there. I'm just saying if they took it away, I wouldn't be protesting. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, all right, it's fine.
And because you know what also is that it makes me, anytime I see items, it makes me like, if I don't grab this item, I'm at a disadvantage, and I don't want to use this item, but I have to, and it makes me force myself doing these things, and it's just like, I don't want to do that. I just want to fight, yo. This is a Smash Bros. Game.
All right, Terrell, what side are you?
Like with Majora's Moon and stuff like that, it's fucking, sometimes it's just great. It really makes the battles, really
fuck out of here. Take Majora's Moon and shove it up someone's ass.
Shove it up your ass.
Well, I mean, to give the game credit, you can turn on and off other than this, you can't pick and choose the assist trophies, which I know it's a bit of a nitpick, but if you're gonna tag it ultimate, because they're just some assist trophies they're either so OP taking up the whole screen, or they're absolutely worthless, and it's like, why are they even in here? If I could tweak, I would have assist trophies on if I could tweak which ones would come and which ones didn't. But Terrell,
I've always been a fan of items. I've never been like, the only thing that's actually the main thing that sucks about our Smash nights is like Juice is so heavy against items that like we never have them. Like,
I don't want them either. Fuck that.
Listen. I don't mind having the serious fights, and I don't mind having the one-on-ones. I'm cool with all that shit. But at the same time, the chaos is kind of the fun of it all. Like, I'll make a controversy. I think Smash Brothers I enjoy Smash Brothers as a game way more than Mario Kart. So like the items in Mario Kart were way more frustrating to me than the fucking items in Smash Brothers, because at least with the ridiculousness of an item in Smash Brothers, like that's for all to see and witness and be like, oh no, I got caught by the beetle, fuck me, or the wind bellows or whatever, or even when an assist or gear him as the assist trophy comes out and fucking kills you. I appreciate that kind of chaos because to me it's a part of the fun because you know you're not taking the fight serious. Now, if we're in the middle of a serious fight and then all of a sudden a Pokeball drops down and someone pulls out Kyogre and I get shot off the stage with water, oh, of course it's bullshit. But if I'm not having a serious fight, then that's the whole point. Smash Brothers is very versatile. So I would say I'm totally for items. I have because at the end of the day, even if I don't want to use them, I don't have to use them. Just don't pick them up.
I mean,
Well,
it's like
if
fun.
you could
For
speak
example,
up. I mean, we can put items on. Like, I mean,
it's like
No,
fun.
we-
For
no, we
example,
can't. We
landing
can't go that
like when I'm DK and I land like a really big punch and shit. But I mean, that's only half as fun as when, for example, Terrell would throw a bomb at me and I catch it and throw it back. I mean, that shit is just hilarious.
Not yeah, but again, like
That happened often, by the way. That did not happen that
to
often.
me, it's like it's already chaotic without items, and so I like you always have someone on the left of you, right of you, on top of you, on bottom, and so you're always trying. I'm always,
Yeah, you're always at the fucking right, Robert.
especially me. I'm always
Goddamn
dodging. I'm always dodging. So if someone's above me, I'm dodging. Like I don't want. Like to me, again, you have items on. You're automatically at a random. Your skill doesn't matter as much now because anyone could kind of fuck you up.
yeah. Let's get T's.
It's fun.
Let's get T's take.
Wrong.
Yeah, man. Fuck items. No, I'm playing. I don't like when I'm playing with you guys or people on our level or whatever. I don't care for items at all. Like, but if I'm playing like solo and I'm just playing against a computer and I've cranked up the difficulty and whatnot, I like items because they might save me, get me out of a bind here and there. But I don't really use them other than like playing with my kids or whatever. Because even when we're playing, I don't take it serious. I don't think we're in like serious battles.
No.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
I'm
when
having
we're all
fun
playing
until
together.
unless we play with a few certain people who just will do the cheap tactics over and over and over. Like
Okay,
they don't
well-
care.
Well, items isn't going to help.
You say that, but you complain about some of us doing those tactics.
No one here. No one,
Okay.
no one in the podcast.
I know.
Well,
what
then,
you're referring to,
I
yeah.
I don't know if I can live without items if it wouldn't bother me because, like I said, I do play them with my kids. It's a lot of fun, a lot more chaotic and stuff because it is chaos. I mean, you have items and whatnot. But for me, when I'm playing against guys, on our level, like I said, or online or whatever, I prefer just to play Smash, just to fight, skill for skill, instead of all this random stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I can think there was a moment, it was on the Wii U, and I tried the for fun mode, and items are on by default. And this happens against the CPU a lot too. I was just standing there, item fell, I threw it. It was a 1 KO. I don't know if it was the beetle or whatever. Killed the guy, got another item, killed. I mean, I barely had to move. It was towards the end. The time was run out or whatever. And I literally just stood there for maybe the last 30, 40 seconds of a match and just threw out a couple items and just was like, oh, I won. It was just like no skill involved. Took away all the tension for me. And it's like, so the example I would give, everyone says Mario Kart. Mario Kart's only fun with items. Well, Mario Kart, the biggest difference between Mario Kart and Smash Brothers is let's say you take the items off in Mario Kart. That game, I don't even know if Deluxe still has that option. I know on Wii U it was an option. There was always a 24/7 tournament that was no items. You could always join, just open to the public. And if you got 12 people. So if you start in 12th, the game was never designed, as a racing game at heart. Like they didn't design it as a racing game first, and then we'll add items. It's an items-based kart racer. So you start in 12th, and you make one mistake, and there's absolutely no catching up. You're never going to get first unless I guess everybody else was really terrible. With Smash Brothers, you make a mistake early. You can come back. Like you can still fight it out, duke it out, make your next stock go to 200%, and still have a chance. But in Mario Kart, you fall behind early without items on. You're not catching up. That's just a fact. The game wasn't designed to be a racing game like that. Where Smash Brothers works both ways. It works completely for people as a game with items on, and it works as a fucking pro level tournament style fighting game. And it succeeds, I think, on both levels. So
Yeah.
I think that's the big difference. Mario Kart.
How much fun is Mario Kart without the items? Like if you
I still like doing that too.
I don't think it's that much fun.
But they'd have to redesign like the physics. You'd have to have like drifting or draft boosting would have to be bigger play. You'd have to actually have a Rocket League like ranking system, because you wouldn't want to be playing with guys that have track memorized, make every turn flawless. You're not going to win. You got to be matched up against people with your same skill level. So they'd have to have a completely redesigned ranking system.
Well, if you want to do that, just leave it to time trials. I mean, that's the whole point in time trials.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep. So then you just spend a lot of time at time trials. But I think
exciting.
Yeah, there is room. Nintendo would open up and actually develop the game a little, for that no items mode. And like I said, have a ranking system and stuff. It could be
just bring back F-Zero and stop bullshit.
Yeah, that too. But I think Mario Kart 8 took the driving mechanics to a point where they're getting closer to, they could do that. And after playing, Smash with no items for the last 4 years or whatever, since Wii U came out or Smash 4 came out, playing Rocket League, going back to Mario Kart 8, I don't know, like 2 months ago or whatever, just the absolute nonsense of the item, the randomness of it, just getting hit over and over and over until you're in fucking 10th place when you're in first. Like that. I can't lie. I'm not as excited for Mario Kart 9 as I used to be, just because mostly because of Rocket League and
don't worry about it, because you won't get it this
it ain't coming. But I'm just like I'm kind of done with that part too, like the randomness. The last time we tried to play, I didn't have even, I don't think, one match where I had fun. Even if I won, I just like, this is it's so random based. It's like if I was playing Rocket League, let's say I have a open net, great shot, and then some freaking clown pops up and blocks, just random item comes up and blocks the ball. Like, that's not going to be fun. So not every game, does it work for.
There's at least 51 things wrong with Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, at least.
That's a throwback podcast I was on.
I remember listening to that, and I'm like, these guys really? I ran out of things at 8. I did 8, and I had to make up 2 to make it 8.
They were like, "You want to be on this podcast? We're gonna talk about stuff that's wrong with Mario Kart." I was like, "Yeah, sure." 51 thing? What?
And then they had
found 51 issues with Mario Kart 8.
And the two head guys, like the two main guys that wanted to do that podcast, both had over 1,000 hours in the game when it was all said and done.
They destroyed my hour. I had like maybe 200.
Mm-hmm.
They just killed me. So I'm like, okay, guys.
So yeah, I just know, I've heard a few people. I know one person in particular that's always against the no items thing. Not in our group, but and I think he said something recently, and I'm just like, I was thinking about doing it for Juice Opinions, but I didn't do one last week, so I was just like, yeah, maybe we bring it up, because it's just like, I don't know. Each person's different, like I said, but he was pretty against the no items thing, and I'm just like, where it's like he was trying to maybe shame the people that like to play with no items. So it's like, nah, I can't roll with that. But
well, I mean, we have a competitive scene in Smash. I feel like it's like some people are just totally against the idea of Smash Bros. Being handled in that capacity, and we're not even going that far with it. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, then you watch the pros play, and you're like, how do they do that? Like, do a recovery after. Like, there's no, I'm thinking they're falling, and then they have another jump, and then they're recovering.
Yeah, we can't even get Juice can't even do his jumps correctly.
Sometimes I don't even get a second jump. So I swear the pros sometimes get 3 jumps.
Well, yeah, obviously, I was really fucking up, not able to.
Yeah, I was even worse the next week. I got last place in our little smash down. I was falling constantly. It was just definitely when you're having trouble, like just doing basic stuff like that, it does. Like I gotta say, I wasn't having as much fun that night. Not because
because you were losing.
Losing and the way I was losing, like just constantly.
Okay,
it's funny to make fun of Robert for it, and then karma came back and bit me right in the ass.
I'm still stunned that you wouldn't be that excited for the Mario Kart 9. It's crazy to me.
Lots changed. Lots changed since Mario Kart 8 came out in 2014.
Right now, I don't I never held Mario
So
Kart as high
17 million
as everyone else
copies.
does.
I'm
Yeah.
still playing Mario Kart 8. I still played it like just this afternoon. I still
You're a
love that
fucking
game,
cat.
man.
I only
played-
care for the battle mode at this point.
I did like the Wii U version. I went through. I was getting like the first place or whatever. I forget the ranking system. I was doing the time trials. I was like practicing, memorizing the tracks so I could be better online. I had I don't know what my score was online. It was pretty high. It was close to the old peak was like 9,000 or whatever. I probably 8,000 over 300 hours. I mean, I got my play time on my use out of it, but I don't know. Since then, I just played some. Like I said, I'm so into Rocket League now that it's like I'm more about the skill and less about the randomness of it and all. But I'm sure a new game coming out probably 2-3 years from now, I'll pick it up and I'll play the hell out of it. But
The whole skill ID, that is actually the main reason why I like having, without stage hazards, every stage available in Smash. Because I don't like it when you have Final Destination and let's say one of those guys you don't like, let's say they take Samus. They stand on the edge and they actually camp and non-stop shoot rockets. When you have somebody like, like half the characters, they can do nothing against that. And when you have a level that has like a wall, somebody can like hide behind it, and then the other person is forced to actually fucking start playing the game. That's what I like. Different levels force different strategies.
yeah, but I feel like that happens more on the stages where you can go up and hide out of harm's way and charge your beam and spam annoying tactics. I remember we played. I don't know what the stage is based off of. These like 2D vines or whatever and leaves. Like it's a really annoying stage.
Brawl stage. I know what you're talking about.
And I think it might have been Lightning that time, or somebody would just constantly hanging out at the bottom part of it so they could hit you from below. I don't know if it was Zero Suit Samus, whoever.
It was either Lightning or it was Red Knight. I forget who. I know
It was
you're
like
talking about.
constantly going like sitting below until someone went over. Well, was distracted fighting the other person, then they'd come up and hit you from below, and it's like, really? And then there was another match where someone was up. I remember at the top left of the screen the whole time, just letting us fight. And I'm like, dude, you see, there's a guy up there. Let's go fight. Let's just quit sitting here.
Yeah, but that's why it's fun, You see
That's
somebody
probably-
who's
to me,
sitting there,
that's-
but nothing
that's-
stops you from like hunting him down, and that's why I think it's fun instead of
To
just
me,
having to like beat
The
people.
problem
up.
at that point then evolves into more 4-player matches because, like, that's kind of the issue. In 4-player matches, shit will just turn in a second where motherfuckers will just sit there and focus on one dude, and there's like one guy over there with like 3 stocks, and that happens. That happens a decent bit in our matches. It's not intentional. Sometimes it just happens.
I have a tendency to just constantly feel the need to go for people, and sometimes you get stuck on one. You like, whether it's because they beat you the last match or something, or they took a character you hate. So you're just like, I'm focused on like this one match. I might focus on Robert the whole match and not even know what you and T are doing, or you and Retro are even doing. Sometimes I get kind of tunnel vision on one.
I know.
But that's the thing. Like I like doing that too. Like I always like, for example, going after Terrell. I like doing that shit.
See, I don't understand this. This always happens to me. That's what
But
pisses
on
me off.
Final Destination, that is harder to do because then he hits you away, and then I fall, for example, in your fight, and then people start hitting on me. It's just you can't really play as freely as you want always on Final Destination.
Yeah, I actually meant to not do the Omega stages last time, and we just didn't feel like getting out of the arena and getting back in because you can't switch it.
Come on, they're great because you know what, that you can still have the separate things, and then I don't know about it, but whenever I get killed, I usually immediately start targeting the person that hit me.
Yeah.
My problem is you're a huge fan of revenge killing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
My play style doesn't work as well with platforms, so that's why.
Same here. That's why
I feel like a lot of my tactics and my main Wii Fit is basically useless with platforms because
you struggle a lot on certain stages.
The soccer ball or whatever constantly bounces off the platforms and it hardly ever hits anybody. So it's like, to me, it like takes away my main. But with like Zelda or somebody, I guess I don't mind as much. But
speaking of Joker, has anyone actually bought him now? Terrell,
I
have him too, yo.
Robert, yeah, I think only Robert.
Did we ever talk about the game coming to Switch, the Persona game.
I want to talk about that.
To me, it looks like that's a game I'd consider playing versus the regular Persona 5. But
wait, you're talking about the Muso
the
game.
Warriors game, yeah.
Really?
I don't think you would play that, Juice. You don't really like Warrior
I don't like
games.
Mushu games, but it looks way more fun to play than Persona 5's main game to me.
That's for sure.
What makes me mad is that, and I knew this was going to happen because every Persona game after 3 has their base edition and then their like extra edition, which is what Royal is. That's the game I would have wanted on Switch. Not saying I'm against Muso games, but Muso games always turn into a situation where I play it religiously for like 30, 40 hours and then like I never touch it again. And I don't know. That and a lot of people were just kind of bummed out. Now, realistically, it was our own fault because we expected too damn much. But dude, don't whore him out.
Yeah, you're putting Joker in Smash, and then that's the game you get. Like I can see from that perspective why people be annoyed.
Especially when the first game was released on PS3, yo.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a fucking technical thing at this point. And that's why I was asking on Twitter, I think around the day that the Muso or the Warriors game was announced, does Sony still have an exclusive deal with Atlas when it comes to the Persona main games? Because none of the main titles are on any other platform but Sony platforms. And
aren't there main titles? I don't play that shit. I don't really like the style of Persona, but aren't there some main titles on the DS or 3DS?
No, those are spin-offs. You're talking about Persona Q. Those
Persona's on 360.
No, which one?
4.
Gold? I mean, really? I thought that was on the. I knew that was on the Vita and the.
It wasn't on 360. I think.
I don't think it was on 360.
Yeah.
You talking about the American console with the fucking
Persona 4 is on 360, bro.
I'm googling that. I don't believe that.
Google it.
That don't.
I'm pretty sure. I'm back on Persona 5 now on the PS4. You know, I'm playing it again, and you know, I'm about 12 hours in, and now I'm getting to know the characters better. I think Joker is boring as fuck.
Oh yeah, because he's an insert character. That's what he is.
Oh, he's a mute, and you put your own name. He's a mute, but we've had mute protagonists before. That's absolutely fine. But this guy is the most boring mute ever. He's like a golden Freeman.
You're wrong, T. Like, the only console that game came out for was PlayStation 2 and PlayStation Vita.
Well, I think you're thinking of Persona 4 Arena Ultimates.
I mean, the fighting game is okay.
Because it has the words Persona and 4 in it. That's why because.
Oh, he's talking about the fighting game. Is that what he's talking about?
Oh, maybe that's what I'm talking about.
The fighting game is on 360, so that's probably.
Well, because they fucking stupidly named it Persona 4 Arena Ultimates. Why would you name it that? Like, imagine if you had like I don't know, fucking fighting game off of Samurai Galaxy and have Samurai Galaxy 2.
See, that's the thing. See, it was in my memory. I just remember seeing Persona 4 360, and it was like that.
Because unfortunately, with Persona 4 is when Atlas started whoring out that IP to any console in any form. That's why even with Persona 4 and 3 and 5, they all have spin-offs on every of the consoles, even though for some reason Sony only gets the mainline games. And I'm curious, maybe there's still a deal with that going on, and that's the reason why. Now,
I'm sure it get amazing on 360.
I will say, Juice's interest in the Warriors game doesn't surprise me because I think Persona 5 has a good style to it. The game has a lot of swag to it, and I think
it's visually swag.
Game, it would look really fucking cool. I just that's not the game I fucking wanted. That's my problem. And just to give Clocked just some perspective, Persona 5 as an RPG is great. For me, it was the fucking story I couldn't stand. I just want that to be stated, and I've stated that a few times. But like, I like Persona 5 as a game. I don't necessarily like Persona 5 as a fucking story. Fuck that story. So,
speaking of Japanese RPG style, well, it's kind of a strategy game. Did you see I don't know if it's just the Japanese box or the US box for the Fire Emblem Three Houses box special edition?
Is that the one where all three of the
three characters on like some rocks and there's a castle in the background?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody posted like you haven't seen it?
No.
I don't know what the
let me look it up.
The Western box is. I'll send you a link.
I'll find it out.
I just typed in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
They've started. Apparently, they opened up the Japanese website, and they've been posting more clips.
I'll link it in the live chat. But the box art, and somebody had like a high res on Twitter. It was like the actual image, not this box angled of a box. And it just got me thinking. In some of the other artwork that they kind of show on this page for that collector's edition is so like ambitious. I'll say, like, you could tell that they weren't just like, oh, we made our last 3 games on the 3DS and then one on a mobile, let's just make it a little bit HD and call it a day. Like, they're just, the concept art tells me like they had big ambitions for this game. This wasn't, we had a little debate about the Fire Emblem series. I know the Fire Emblem series actually has definitely way more roots in consoles, when Pokemon never really did. Yeah. But it just feels like seeing how grand their aspirations were for this game, and I couldn't help but think of Pokemon Sword and Shield like immediately. Like, why is Pokemon going for so
funny thing is that
close to the best?
Nintendo said that the Fire Emblem they consider it a major series now. That was after Awakening sold really well.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we're going to consider this a major series now, and that's why we've had so many. But like you said, fucking hell, Pokemon it goes beyond what a major series fucking is. It's it's at the top of most video games in terms of sales and recognition. It's fucking, make some fucking effort. Oh, let's not talk about Pokemon again, please.
Yeah, I didn't want to get in that debate, but I did. As soon as I saw those Fire Emblem, I'm like, yeah, they wanted to make. And Terrell drops out. You're talking about beloved Pokemon, but it just tells me like, hey, they knew they have all this power and they want to take advantage of it. That's what I see from that concept art and what we've seen of the game so far. So
yeah,
to me, that's the difference between playing it safe and trying to evolve it, and especially with such a jump from 3DS to Switch. I don't know what would be an equivalent jump as far as like hardware and technology from one system to the next. That's got to be one of the biggest jumps you can make, especially in this day and age. It's probably like Super NES to, maybe not quite as big as Super NES to N64, but I'd say definitely like N64 to GameCube jump, if not bigger.
I'd say bigger, yeah.
And if you're going, it costs more to make a bigger, bolder game, but when you're making billions of dollars a year on your franchise, just another example of the Pokemon company going cheap.
And it's like not even like I'm trying to think of that game where the original one. I got to come on Switch real quick because I bought it for Switch. It was like a Zelda clone, and it was on mobile. Let me see if I can find it.
What was that called?
I'm looking for it now. Oceanhorn.
Yeah.
So Oceanhorn. So look at Oceanhorn 1
versus 2
or anything. Versus 2.
Oh yeah, we mentioned.
Tell me, and this is just some indie company, who does basically cell phone games. Look at the drastic change in that game from the first one to the second one, and we ain't even asking for that. You know what I'm saying? We're asking for
Oceanhorn
company that's been around for 25 years. Yeah, like
I wasn't even expected that from that developer. I would have expected more.
I wasn't expecting that at all when they said they were going to do it in the second one. I was like, all right, I like the game. I like the first one. I'd like to see a sequel, but they Breath of the Wild at that bitch. Mm-hmm. It's like, whoa. So I don't want to hear what can't be done, what they shouldn't do, or
I know we talked about this
exactly.
Maybe last podcast. It was either in the comments or it was in the live chat, and they're like, it's like I don't need my Pokemon game to change. I like what it, I guess. But
and the thing is, like, we're not saying
like
for it to change.
A senior citizen talking like that.
I don't get why people think like when we say these things, we want it to literally change. We want it to not look like Pokemon. Like, no, it's just to evolve. To it could be bigger than what it can be while still sticking to turn-based RPG. You know what I mean? Like,
and you're not gonna be mad when it happens. Act like
Yeah.
it's gonna be. Oh my god, this ain't my
Again,
Pokemon.
everyone and their mother always kept saying, Everyone and their mother always kept saying, I want the open world Pokemon, but then all of a sudden when Sword and Shield dropped, you were like, alright, fine.
Pokemon Defenders
I'll
are
take my game that looks like a GameCube game.
and
They're just as bad as Sonic Defenders.
that's actually a good transition into another thing. I seen somebody put up a post on Twitter, and it was actually a poll. And we haven't seen Animal Crossing yet for Switch.
Oh god!
You know, even though Retro Death made a statement that completely factually
He's had a
wrong.
dream.
Yeah. I've seen other person. I don't know, it was just one other person, but the Animal Crossing series has definitely stayed close to the original. Maybe they've added some stuff here and there, and I'm an outsider.
Yeah.
I played the DS and the 3DS version. I never played the Wii or GameCube version, but when I played the DS version and when I played the 3DS version, it didn't feel like it was a different game. Like it almost felt like the same game.
I don't. When I made that poll, I meant it like it is a massive difference. In the same way, Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild are different. You know. Oh no, that's the thing. Yeah, but you haven't played the game. I have like 800 hours in New Leaf alone. I have like a couple of 100 hours in Wildwood and everything. There are massive drastic changes. Just alone, for example, in New Leaf, they added things like you can swim, you can go to the island and have mini games and that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of gameplay elements. Like you can literally create your whole town basically in New Leaf, decide what house goes where and shit. The difference is massive, but you have to be able to actually be in the games for it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah, but I don't know.
But that's evolution
I
of what was already there. You know?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily a giant
no
difference. Like it's just adding on to it, which is fine.
Right.
That's what I want. I want them to just keep adding on to more stuff. Not really.
I still think it's going to be this moving on a cylinder.
Oh hell's yeah!
Yeah,
and I want it to be that. That I do want it to be because like again, I haven't had one since 2008 for fucking.
But here's the thing: as a core Animal Crossing fan, like who's been there from the beginning, like I even played Animal Planet on N64 because I liked it so much. Like from somebody like me, you think I would be upset if they changed that and if they made it more open world-ish of an Animal Crossing game? I wouldn't be.
No,
like,
I wouldn't. No.
Like, and I'm sure you wouldn't be bothered by that either. You're a core fan of what the game has always been.
Yeah.
You wouldn't mind it changing.
I think it would be at the end of the day, if they made it like it was like a more open and and like I imagine in my head where I kind of go out of my house and you still got this big world that doesn't have to be a cylinder. I think that would still be fucking awesome regardless. You know what I mean? Like it and you got all the the animals all around and the way they they evolved that in terms of
because I feel like the whole the cylinder idea was a hardware limitation idea for
that was a hardware
draw distance and but you could keep the cylinder but make it a bigger cylinder so the curve isn't and just expand the world.
I don't want the cylinder. The cylinder was fucking shit. I want it top down like we had on the original game, like we had on fucking New Leaf. I want it top down. That scrolling cylinder thing is fucking trash. I hate it.
That's from the beginning.
What do you mean? But the New Leaf has the cylinder. What do you mean?
It doesn't have the cylinder. You talk about the scrolling, the way the world like rolls over.
It moves and rolls. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't.
New Leaf has it, but in a much lesser extent than the Wild World had. For example,
you can look down. You can go down to that level, but for the most part, the game is still pretty much top down.
Okay. Yeah, the GameCube game was top down.
I mean,
yeah.
But you can kind of, but you still see like a globe, like it's still like a globe.
It has that kind of a curve curve.
So I've actually never seen the Wii game, so I'm gonna look that up right now. What was that one called?
It's very similar.
City Folk.
Yeah,
City Folk is great, and that's why, like, for instance, like with like City Folk, I know people love what is it called, Wild World and the original Animal Crossing, but I can't play those shits when they always do. Every time you go to a different screen that has to like move. Oh, that shit's so annoying.
The first game was a top down like a old Zelda game. The 3 games since then have all been the cylinder thing, right? Just to be clear.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That Wild World and City Folk were full on cylinder. I'm going to argue against City Folk. So it was a mixture of both.
Okay, yeah. So that hasn't been as
Not City
big of a
Folk, sorry.
staple. It hasn't been as big of a staple as I thought.
Leaf, sorry. New Leaf.
So, what do you guys, you diehard Animal Crossing fans? What do you want from Switch's Animal Crossing?
Honestly,
I actually want them. I actually want them to take a lot of stuff that they implemented in Happy Home Designer, like how you place your furniture.
Yeah.
Which you couldn't do the other game. Stupid shit like this, man. I'm telling you, that makes all the difference.
It is a lot better.
It makes all the freaking difference, man, in this game. That's one of the things I want to see. But graphically, I tell you what I want it to look like, and they've already done it. The Animal Crossing Plaza on the Wii U. I wanted to look like that.
That's pretty much
I
it.
feel like that will look beautiful.
Gorgeous.
The main thing I want from the game is like a lot of people I know, because I used to be part of like even the Animal Crossing forums and shit to trade. I did like villager trading and shit, all that kind of stuff, and a lot of people, and I want that too. The main thing I want from the game is for it to, because New Leaf is my favorite, but it needs to go back a little bit more when it comes to the world, to the first game on the GameCube or 64 or wherever you started, like. Because it technically it was used to be called Animal Forest, but only the first game actually had the fucking
Planet.
forest.
I meant to say Animal Forest.
Yeah,
I said Animal Planet because
game,
it's a
like,
show.
Only the first game had a forest. You could make and create the world exactly how you wanted, but you never really had the feeling that you were in a forest in a world. And my main thing is I wanted to be a lot more atmospheric. The way there was a dude who made the video. I think he got removed from YouTube online. I couldn't find it anymore. There was a dude who made a model of the game of what he thought it should be, and it's basically like New Leaf in 3D, but with like just a lot of extra shit. Lighting effects, for example. That add to the atmosphere. A fuller world with like more trees, more vegetation, that kind of shit. Just more immersive in general.
What
That's
if
what I
it
want.
looked like Link's Awakening? What if it was that art style? Not saying it will be, but to me that would seem.
I
like
don't mind the art
I would
style,
love it.
but that shit, like, I can't have that angle. I need to be more in the world, not taking more out of it.
Yeah, I would like that art style. That would be nice.
I can tell you from trying to watch some gameplay clips, 20, 30-minute videos I'm scrolling through, and text is at least 60% of these gameplay videos people have posted.
Actually, talk about text. I hope also for this new Animal Crossing they kind of develop more like dialogue for characters, because there's a lot of times where you'll talk to animals and then they kind of start repeating themselves, and I think that'd be cool to kind of have different
have a lot more variations.
Yeah, a lot more variation, because I think like at least New Leaf, what I remember is they were kind of always like happy people,
Yeah,
and in the original Animal Crossing, like GameCube, they had more like emotions,
I found the video. Where I'm gonna link this shit. I'm gonna link it in our group chat. I don't know if you want to share. Oh, maybe I can do it in the chat. Wait, I found the video from years ago. It's online again, where you can see the at around 3 minutes and 45 seconds. That's what I want this game to be.
I'll share. You got to share it, and then I can share it in the live chat.
Okay. Wait. Let me do it in the live chat here.
Can't put say Animal Planet.
As somebody like on the outside, like I said, it looks like there's a hell of a lot of speech bubbles, and I don't know that they need to go full voice acting, but you could definitely. You talking about making the world look a little more.
Yeah, you can't do a voice acting in Animal Crossing.
Technically, a lot of people don't realize that. Animal Crossing is voice acted, but it's Japanese.
It is voice acted, but
that's how you get the talking. The characters are actually saying what you type.
Yep.
I mean, it could just like a cartoon or anime. You could have good. Like animal creatures talking in their voice, you'd have to have some good.
So in that video, when you go to 345, that is what I want the new Animal Crossing to be. That is what I always imagined it.
Yeah, this looks like what it should look like. I mean,
well, it'd be nice if the Switch could do Street Pass, but nope.
Yeah, this to me like
that would be nice for Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, I love this video.
If it doesn't look at least this good, the Switch is easily capable of this. I'd be disappointed.
This is what somebody made for in the Wii U days, like how it could have looked on the Wii U already. And you see, like later in the clip, at like 4 minutes, you have like all these lighting effects and shit. That is next gen Animal Crossing for me.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like It looks like what you would expect from a jump from 3DS to Switch.
Expect what you saw in that little, I guess
That was
awesome.
That looked
teaser.
Like pretty plain. That looked like pretty clean CG though.
I don't expect much more than what I saw.
Well, from that teaser, I would fucking love it, yo. I'm gonna be honest.
That was straight CGI.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that video.
I kind of expect less than that.
I don't think it's. We're on different planets here because I don't think it was all that great.
From the Smash Direct, you're talking? Where
I thought it didn't seem like anything that it was. Oh my god, it can't do this.
Where it's just inside the dude's office.
Yeah, when with Tom Nook and he's just
I wouldn't expect anywhere near that.
I'm with T. I didn't think I thought that was just some.
Okay, well, I guess we feel like we saw two different things.
I just linked it in the live chat. That's like
CG.
way too clean for the actual in game for Switch.
With those textures, I don't think so.
I don't know. It's pretty. I mean, maybe the interior close-ups, but as far as it's not a good indicator what the outside world would look like. But
well, no.
To me, this looks. If it looks like this, I'd be like, yeah, damn, Nintendo. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, if they look like this, I'm gonna be like, ah.
I've seen that a few times. I have to go watch it again.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I mean, you can see the fucking
smile, yo.
You can see the that his sweater is made out of like wool or something. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't expect. But the background is pretty basic. I will say the background, the wall and stuff is very basic.
That's I don't know.
But what Retro linked, Trell, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what Retro linked to me,
fucking updates.
That's what at that 345 mark. That's what I expect it to look like, and I would be mad if I was an Animal Crossing fan. I'd be upset if it doesn't look that good because that looks about perfect.
And that's like I said, like a couple of days ago, I had this fucking nightmare when Animal Crossing got revealed for the Switch, and it looked like fucking Wild World, just between Wild World and the Pokemon Let's Go game, and I was like, no. This is like less than New Leaf kind of bullshit. So I'm so waiting for this game, and this is one of those games where if it doesn't meet my expectations, I'm gonna be seriously disappointed.
I don't know what y'all looking at.
To me, that looks.
These textures are very.
The textures are, but
simple.
The video itself looks way.
It's about the immersiveness of what it looks like and everything.
There's some good lighting too.
Yeah, we're talking about here. We're talking about the one with Tom Nook, right?
Yeah, with Tom Nook sitting behind his desk.
Yeah, and the one I'm with T. The one with Tom Nook behind his desk. The game needs to look better than that. Fuck that video. Okay. That's just a teaser.
Wait. Is that the topic at hand? If it's gonna look as good as that teaser footage?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought that was pretty. That wasn't supposed to be representative of gameplay.
I mean, that's
nobody.
There's no.
But what do you think, Turl? Do you think it will look better or worse than that?
It's gonna look much better.
Okay. First things first. I don't give a shit because I don't give a fuck about Animal Crossing.
Whoa.
Second thing, I would assume it would look. I would think it would look either just as good or better. That would be my thought process.
That's what I'm thinking. Too.
I don't see a single Jaggy. I don't see.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's no Jag, nothing like that. I mean, like,
but these textures are so simple. Have you played? Well, I guess none of you guys have really played other than me, and I guess me and Clock did on. Like it's very like Labo game texture wise, and none of that stuff has Jaggies in it either. And that's the very clean.
It's the lighting. Without the lighting, I would be right with you guys. But the lighting really sells it for me. That
New Leaf already had actually more textures than that Tom Nook thing.
Yeah, this is an interior.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a blank wall.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to be not.
When you add in all the stuff on the outside, I would be shocked if the character model looks this good.
Okay.
I want to go into it being like, holy shit.
I mean, Crafted World, to me, Yoshi doesn't look that good. I mean...
What?
Yoshi himself doesn't look anywhere near as good as that Tom Nook. Like the character model.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
But the world looks good. but it's like I don't expect Animal Crossing to look
I feel
that
like
good.
Juice sometimes leads the wrong way with his statements. Like,
He's made up of
Go
1,
ahead.
2, 3, 4 textures.
Yeah.
And it's what we're talking about with Tom Nook here. He's got
I'm
4
just-
textures.
Wait, do you actually wait? Actually, you know what? Do you think these animals are gonna have like fur, like textures, stuff
No.
like
I
that?
doubt it. Doubt it.
No.
I wouldn't want that actually.
Does Pikachu have texture in Sword and Shield? No.
Yeah, but these guys, I feel like would take more time.
It'd make
than-
that would, you know,
Yeah,
I think that
that's
would be an improvement if you gave him some fur and stuff.
I don't think they need it though.
I think some of them could look pretty damn cool with it.
I don't know. Art style wise, I don't think it needs it personally.
If
I
Rare,
don't.
if
You
Rare
get into
were
that, then you're like,
I
if
mean,
Rare were making it like Viva Pinata or something, then you know that they'd probably try and do it. But these guys won't. I don't.
but I mean, looking at Villager and Smash, like,
What about him?
I don't think he looks as good as Tom Nook in that teaser. I mean,
Huh.
are we
I
still
wouldn't-
on this?
I just like a weird comparison going. I feel like I missed a
well, I
bunch of
just
weird shit.
went to
going on.
Twitter and somebody's got a video of Villager in Smash for it's like a 2-second repeating clip, and I was like, Smash looks pretty good, but just saying.
Man, you're looking at some compressed bullshit.
Yeah, I don't, actually, in retrospect, I don't understand your weird thing with Tom.
I don't
Nook.
think there's a chance Animal Crossing on Switch will look as good as
Smash.
the Smash version of, you know, maybe an Animal Crossing.
Okay, you're out of your fucking mind.
No way.
Why?
I think New Leaf seriously looks fucking amazing already. New Leaf looks really good graphically.
Yeah, I know. I totally
On the
agree.
3DS, it looks good for
New
sure.
Leaf looks great, and technically you could just HD those textures, and it probably look pretty damn nice. But like, I don't know. I'm worried. I don't know. I don't want to hype myself up. I just want to see this. It's gonna be a month from now, yo. If we don't see it if we don't see it at E3, I mean, we have.
it'll be at E3.
We will definitely see it at E3.
It might even
All
be
right,
the.
I don't know. I just don't know what this weird thing. I mean,
It's the game of
it's
the
weird,
show. I
yeah.
feel like
I'm just
If
looking
you
up.
don't
I think it might be the main game.
Anything crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
by
If
any
If we
means.
don't see it at
mean,
E3, it's gonna be delayed until next year.
I
No
agree
way
with
are we
that.
not
oh
seeing
my!
it this
If it
E3.
did that,
Villager
my
looks
heart would
better than
drop.
Tom Nook from what I'm looking at. I don't think you tell me.
Yeah, actually, I
his
probably would
lighting.
agree.
He looks
would
pretty
agree.
good here.
The only thing on
Smash.
Tom Nook that looks really good is probably the stitching on his sweater. Like his model
Mhm. Yeah.
itself doesn't look that great by any means.
Right. And then if you got to think Smash is like they have to adhere to all those other characters as far as the style goes.
I
And
would
so,
imagine Animal Crossing on Switch would look better than he does in Smash.
yeah, I would imagine too, but that's just me.
I mean, obviously, at the end of the day,
I hope so.
I'll be at the end of the day, I'll be playing fucking Fire Emblem. I don't give a fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
what characters in Smash look better than the game?
I think
character
Smash.
they represent. I can't think of one.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, just look
Wait,
at the
what do
Breath
you
of the
mean with
Wild
that?
stage in Smash versus Breath of the Wild. It looks so much cleaner, so much nicer. I wish Breath of the Wild looked like it did in the
True.
Smash.
That's
stage.
Now,
actually- that's
T, I just want this to be stated. We're talking about characters.
This dude,
and all of us, we're talking
yeah,
about
he's
characters.
on the stage and shit now.
Yeah.
He done moved up.
The
He done
fucking-
I mean,
the
Link
fucking
obviously
solo
looks
people
cleaner.
over here.
slid-
Yeah, Link does look clean. I don't know, man.
Ah, that's a
Yeah,
bit
do
wide.
you know why Link looks cleaner? Because Breath of the Wild is still a fucking Wii U game.
See what we
No.
talking about here? You see what we talking about up in
Why are
here?
you kidding me?
There's
I
nothing
don't know,
else.
man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm
Oh my
worried.
God.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm worried.
I have a really good one actually. Fucking on the Wii U, Donkey Kong looked better in Tropical Freeze than he does in Smash.
That's true.
That's
That's
true
very
too.
That's more of an
But-
art style difference. Not,
But
Right,
That's
that's
an
what I'm
art
saying.
style.
But
He has
That's
no
a fur
fucking hair.
texture issue.
or you know what?
they
We
took
could
it
just
out
say
of Ultimate. That's what I'm saying.
we could
Well,
just say that
just
all
go
the
back
models.
to GameCube because GameCube had better representation as far as first party and stuff. Look at Melee and tell me those characters look better than Mario looks in Sunshine or any of those characters. Link looks better.
I don't know. Maybe it's just
Link
because
might look
Smash
better.
is just so clean.
Nah,
and that
Link and
Smash
Melee,
is
man.
sharp, but that's about
Yeah, I
it.
think that's probably
that's
what-
what helps it. Because I would
Well,
say
yeah.
Donkey Kong looks better in Tropical
It's-
Freeze than he does.
It's
in-
a
Definitely
different
that.
style game.
Donkey
Than,
Kong in Donkey Kong Jungle Beat on the GameCube
characters.
looks better than the Donkey Kong in Super Smash.
I would say
All right, that's
Donkey Kong's
disrespectful, yeah.
face and facial animations in Smash Ultimate are on par with Tropical Freeze, but the rest of them just trash.
nah,
Well,
man,
yeah, but that's the point. Like, there is no, at least what me and T are saying, there is no character in Smash Brothers that looks better than their
the
in-game
game they came
representation.
from.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't think of any
Fight me, let's
character
go.
who looks inherently better in Smash because they don't.
that actually have a game. You can't really. Oh, Mega Man looks better. Oh yeah, okay, well.
I wouldn't even make that argument.
You know, like Bayonetta looks a little bit more.
You're gonna tell me Bayonetta looks better in that than she looks in her.
Bayonetta also looks disproportionate.
But I think Bayonetta, like, just because the game is overall just a cleaner game for her art style, I would say it's like her character model is probably similar to in both games, but I haven't seen Bayonetta 2 in a while, so
no, you need to look at Bayonetta 2 and then look at the model of Smash. In Bayonetta 2, she looks much better.
Bayonetta 2 is not even an argument. Yeah,
it's not even close.
They had
what about Squid Girl?
Listen, they had I would say she looks better in Splatoon 2.
What?
Oh, yeah. What? What are you saying? What?
What are you saying? What? You kidding me?
I don't.
That one I don't know.
I don't know.
That one's probably the closest one out of all the ones we've.
Man, I would bet money. That's how.
What do you think about the Animal Crossing Plaza though? Like how that looks
in the Wii U? You talking?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
I don't remember much.
Why send that up?
It looked good back in 2015, 2014.
What, dude? That shit looks good now.
I'm looking.
We had textures in the.
Go look at it right now.
Let me refresh my memory. Oh, okay. Wait.
Right. I don't think. I mean,
he's right. It looked good back in 2015.
Yeah, it doesn't look as good as memory.
It's not as good.
Yeah, it just looks all right.
I don't know, man. I looked at
it. It just blew your mind because you hadn't seen those Animal Crossing characters.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point in the big 3D, HD game, you hadn't seen it. So you're seeing it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Wind Waker. Because when we got Wind Waker HD, I was like, didn't Wind Waker already look this good? Nah, go back to GameCube and tell me it already looked that good. Your mind thinks it looks better than it was, but
because you haven't seen it in a while.
Right. This doesn't look that great at all.
I guess it depends. Again, we're gonna have to compare. When they reveal.
I think New Leaf looked better than this shit.
Weird. What? Nah.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
I'm watching Game Explain's video right now.
The thing with
it's pretty clean looking though.
It's all right. I'm not taking.
See, this is what happens. Juice's graphics whoring has gotten into the damn. I don't believe this shit, yo.
But I would say
we're gonna have to compare it, yeah.
If you take the Plaza. Game Explain has a better video than the first one I found. If you take this level of visuals and just fill the environment with everything and keep this, because when the characters walk into the where the leaves are like shadows on the ground and the characters get shadows. So there's definitely some nice stuff going on here.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Just sharper version of this with the world being full of everything and still maintaining. I think that would be a lot of people would be happy with that.
I'd be excited.
Yeah, I don't need it to be a 3D, a full-on 3D world. I don't need that.
I kind of wanted
it's a lot
adventure. No, man.
That's not what Animal Crossing.
You need some RPG elements, damn it.
RPG elements.
And they're like every game nowadays.
No, but yeah, I can't believe in a month we're gonna see Animal Crossing.
I hope it's not like last year.
I'll be mad if you don't see that shit. I don't trust you, Nintendo. You be doing some bullshit.
I remember Retro and I definitely our expectations for Smash on Switch was we thought they were gonna maybe change up a little bit more drastically.
Yeah.
As far as the art style and the look of the game, and our first impressions were like at first I didn't even know it was the Switch version there. I thought they're going to start with the Wii U version for some reason. Once I saw it took me a minute to like, oh, this is the Switch. Oh, I see the better lighting now. It took me until they got to some different clips. Hopefully Animal Crossing isn't that when you see it and you're just like, oh, yeah. That.
Well, there's no way Animal Crossing is going to be that because we haven't had Animal Crossing HD
regardless
at all. So it's
but my thing is, this is the thing, because the Pokemon Company said they make me scared now. As long as Nintendo is making fucking Animal Crossing to be like Animal Crossing as like a console fucking game made for the Switch, and not like, oh, we have the handheld aspect in mind. No, bitch, make it look good.
Or like them just take new assets.
We're not having this conversation. I already know how this is gonna go, and
it's already starting to turn.
Oh, I mean, it's because I don't know.
Terrell's like, I'm done with this shit.
Terrell, how'd you feel when you saw Farm 'em 3 Houses for the first time last year?
I wouldn't say I was blown away. I was just excited to see it.
You were getting blown.
Oh no.
That was such a stretch, yo. I hear
Oh,
like
no.
Neil Armstrong. Get the fuck out of here, yo. Jesus. No. I mean, I wasn't like blown away. I still don't. Well, first off, I'm not a huge fan of Three Houses art style. It's okay. I wish they had went with the art style and like Echoes personally. If they wanted that in between where it isn't too anime, but it also isn't like old as fuck school like it had been up until like the 3DS games. But I wasn't blown away by Three Houses animation, especially when you got into the main game battles. You could definitely see the chips on the shoulder. But I mean, I still thought it looked good for all intents and purposes. But like, I wouldn't.
It's very anime.
Do you
It
feel
is
it looks
very
better
anime.
now on the second time we've seen it? Did you feel it looked better?
Oh yeah, it looks better. And I think the same thing's gonna happen with Pokemon. I think Pokemon will look better.
Nah, that shit ain't looking better. That shit's looking
Man,
worse.
you don't know what the fuck you talking about.
It's gonna get a
Oh, bust your
downgrade.
head.
I'm not even trying to be that. I'm not trying to be that guy. All right. I'm just saying Nintendo and I'll even say the other Pokemon games had that tendency where the first time I saw them, they weren't amazing, but the second time I saw them, they looked better than they did originally. They still maintain that upgrade in quality, visual quality. Now, granted, the other games had the excuse of being like 3DS games. There wasn't that much of a increase, but I think Sword and Shield will look better. I actually think that's probably the reason why we haven't seen it. We got that one teaser and haven't seen it in like, what was it, 3 months? And usually around now they would have put out some footage. So I have a little more faith in that game. Also, if the mechanics are good now, I don't really give a fuck as much.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a graphics whore like something.
Graphics hoes, reso hoes.
Honestly, I think because the change that like I would have been excited for, I think Game Freak has to figure out a way, and they should have been doing this, but I think they got to figure out a way of achieving that mass appeal still while making it broader to like an older audience. Because that's the problem they're having right now. They're gonna lose the fuck out of their old fans.
Well, right now, whatever they can shit out 10 million sales like nothing. So
That's the problem. It's one of those games that will always sell. So like they never get punished for bad games.
And if
Granted, I don't think any
if
game
Animal Crossing or Fire Emblem Three Houses outsells any of the 3DS versions, do you think people start shitting on the 3DS versions like they suck and they were never good?
Oh well, people shit on the 3DS versions for other reasons.
I don't know, but people praise the hell out of Awakening.
Because Awakening
was an awakening for the series.
Yeah, Awakening was a change. Like that was a change of the game. Like go look at the Wii one, which was the last game before. Yeah. Well, no, there was a DS remake, but go look at the Wii game and then go look at Awakening just on a visual style.
Mad technical.
They changed a lot of shit. Now a lot of people are angry. The old school Fire Emblem fans are angry because people said they made it more casual.
But ain't enough of y'all, so fuck y'all.
And so they've been figuring their shit out between the generations. I mean, between the 3 games they put out. People shit on Fates like a motherfucker. And then people hold Echoes to this high-ass standard because Echoes was the remake of the second game in the series. Even though Echoes has shit-ass map design. But that's a whole other
And by the way, you ain't angry about still getting Fire Emblem games because you wouldn't get no more for Awakening, bitch.
Yeah,
Awakening didn't sell like it
Fate
did.
sold pretty well too, Nick.
Oh no, Fate sold almost.
Well, of course, they did fucking 3
Awakening
versions.
was the one. It was supposed to be their last Fire Emblem game. They were like, "We're done."
Yeah, because Fire Emblem wasn't making any money.
Yeah,
just
although
a lot of
people have tried to take that away from it, saying it was because of the marketing.
I think Fire Emblem's gonna be safe, even if Three Houses sells 10 million copies. I don't think people who like to drink orange juice are going to suddenly shit on Awakening. You know what I mean?
What?
You lost what was that?
What was that?
People who like OJ maybe aren't going to be shitting. He likes to shit on everything. The Switch is outselling even if it's something he used to praise.
Switch outsold PS4 in Japan. Oh, it's
to be fair, I don't think.
I mean, listen, that's still probably funny as hell that like a console that's only 2 years old outsold a console.
No, I'm not taking anything away from it. I just think it's funny.
I don't think he would shit on Fire Emblems that much because there wasn't a Fire Emblem game on the Wii U.
Yeah, but if that's true.
Yeah, he's not gonna shit on the 3DS.
But you know, when let's say
Even though I think one of them fucking deserves it.
if the next Star Fox game came out and it destroyed Zero in sales, you know, that would get brought up, and
that's not like an accomplishment.
That's not that hard.
you know,
What is Zero?
it
sell?
doesn't stop
500,000
them.
copies?
Literally, they could put out a remake of 64 again, and it would outsell the one on the fucking.
Well,
It
they
won't
tried to do
stop
that
them.
with Zero.
And
Hey, listen,
he,
no, Zero tried to be a little experimental for too much for his own good.
Star Fox just needs a little bit less Miyamoto, just like Zelda did.
Yeah. Well, I think Star Fox Zero was a budgetary problem. They just
And
didn't have
also,
the budget to make the game they should have been making.
And I think it didn't have enough development time. That was the other thing.
And that too, yeah.
Listen, because I fucking love Miyamoto, and you cannot take away everything he gave us and that we have
want to go down
today.
the road, Retro.
But seriously,
I just
like,
think right now he's an easy scapegoat for a lot of you motherfuckers.
no, I felt he needs to be less part of gaming and shit. He needs to, because he has like all these ideas which he always had, except at this point and day, like if Miyamoto had such a strong hold over Zelda the way that over Star Fox, we would not have Breath of the Wild right now.
I just think a lot of people talking a lot out their ass about Miyamoto and what influence he has because they don't know. They
I
just
think
making
what
shit up.
Also,
I need facts if you're gonna tell me this stuff. That's all.
That is
Well,
not-
Star Fox
that is
Zero
not-
has the motion shit.
Well,
That
they-
is because of
I
him.
just
they
wanna
had
say
to
that is
justify
not
the Wii U.
IP that you should be concerned with when it comes to Miyamoto. The one you
You
should
should
be concerned about is Paper Mario. That's what you should be concerned about.
Well, that
Man.
Miyamoto ain't got nothing to do with that shit.
Man, are you
No,
kidding me? He's the reason why
Let
we
me
don't get creativity in our fucking Mario RPGs anymore. God
Yeah,
damn.
and
No.
Capcom is the reason we got 4 gigs of RAM in the Switch. Get the fuck out.
People hate people will hate on Miyamoto, right? Because of two fucking things. We fucking
Somebody
music.
hear a blip in somebody's newspaper, or somebody's shit rag of a newspaper.
all right,
or
give
somebody-
Clock it. Give Clock to this.
Oh my bad, I ain't Clock. You talking? My bad, dog.
No, it's cool. It's
I
cool.
wasn't trying to be funny.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
mute
mean
you.
No.
Go ahead, Clock.
All I was gonna say was people. I fucking hate that shit when people chew on Miyamoto. It was based off 2 fucking games, right? Wii Music for the most part, and then Star Fox, yeah. And like T said, you don't know what this motherfucker does in the background, right? He's not just sitting there quiet as shit just because you haven't heard from him in a while. You know, on some major fucking game, it doesn't mean he's sitting there quiet in the background. Miyamoto has always been fundamental to fucking Nintendo, right? And the day he fucking goes, right, it's just gonna be. That's, you know, I'm scared to fucking death. It was like when Iwata went. When Iwata went,
Yeah.
we've seen what it's like. We've seen what it's like, and we're complaining about it, and we're moaning about it, and we don't like it. Wait until our games designers go. Those people who are fucking Nintendo.
Fucked.
Wait until
We're fucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait
I'm
until
so worried.
fucking
Alright,
people- and I'm talking about 5 fucking years, maybe even less for some of them, right? Wait until these fuckers go, and then we're gonna see a new fucking Nintendo, and I'm scared out of my fucking balls what we're gonna see.
I'm right there with you.
I just want.
Right
I
there
just
with
want.
you. People act like Miyamoto sitting around waiting.
No,
what can I
wanna
do
put-
to piss people off?
I just want. No,
Yeah, right.
no, I just want to put this in the fucking perspective because the Wii Music thing didn't care about. Even the Star Fox thing, I didn't fucking care about.
Who gives a shit about Wii Music? Like,
Like,
no one.
my issue was more so. I don't need Miyamoto to go. I just need Miyamoto to lighten up on some of his thought process when it comes to like what you can and can't do with the IP.
That's what I said. Yeah.
That's my thing. I
Oh,
don't
you mean like Mario plus rabbits?
No, I mean like fucking. turning-
So he
I mean
does
like turning
do
Mario
stuff.
and Luigi and fucking Paper Mario into, oh well, now we can only use these toads and we can only use these Goombas. Like it almost felt like you took the creativity out of it because it was like we need to make this as streamlined Mario as it is. Like that
And-
shit hurts the hell out of me.
And he
Oh,
said
but-
the same thing. He's also the person who was like, wow, I don't know what we could do with F-Zero. You make a fucking racing game. You don't need to fucking add like motion control out of my ass with that
That
bullshit.
could just be PR
Yeah,
talk. That could,
No,
Damn it.
no, listen.
That
If
can be-
Miyamoto can get the praise for his
people
good
get all bent out of shape about that stuff. I'm like,
dumb shit he does, right?
Reggie says that type of shit every other day when he was the president. Like
And
that's
he
just
didn't know
PR
he
speak.
didn't get away with it either.
He's like, we ain't making it because y'all ain't buying that shit.
All I
Yeah.
know is when I
Yeah,
watched,
that's
why we
really
ain't
what it is.
making
when you
That's what
listen
he could
to
say, but he's not gonna say that.
the Breath of the Wild making of, like they constantly took me or was asking Miyamoto of how they felt, and he was actually asking them to go bigger and expand their ideas, and he wasn't holding them back. He wasn't
Yeah.
the lead creative guy, but they unless it's just out of respect, they said they constantly went to him to have him play this new thing and see what he thought of it, and if the idea was good, and they would go further with it. Like,
Yeah, he doesn't get everything right. All right, that's fine.
Definitely not. Yeah.
No, he's a human being. I get that, but
all I'm saying is, to be fair, the complaints I have with the games he's had his hand in are older than Breath of the Wild. So he may have already lightened up and changed his stance. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying during those times, it was the reason why he got shat on. To be fair, it was more than he probably deserved. At the same time,
way more.
Miyamoto doesn't get criticized that often to begin with.
And you're talking about, okay, you said Paper Mario, right? So our perspective is different than his. Like, what did Paper Mario do, Thousand Year Door do on GameCube? A million copies, maybe 1.2 million copies. So it didn't light the world up, obviously, but it didn't, it did okay. Then you had Super Paper Mario. I don't count that because that's not really Paper Mario game. So the next one is what? Paper Mario Sticker Star, right?
Yeah.
How many did that sell?
Yes.
How many did
that
that
one sold insanely well.
All right, though. So from that perspective, you're like, well, you guys say you wanted this, but you didn't really buy it. They didn't really push GameCube sales the way you guys react. But you're right. I agree. I want Paper Mario to be more like Thousand Year Door and the first Paper Mario. But if you're looking at from his perspective, it's like, yeah, I hear a lot of chatter, but I don't see a lot of sales.
Yeah, but you also got to look at the systems that he put those out.
You're right. Like the GameCube didn't sell as well as
also
the 3DS sold.
Yeah, I'll say it's just like the top two selling Paper Mario games are the two.
But companies don't look at it like that all the time. They look at.
Oh, I know. I understand that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean like it. That should allow him to at least be critiqued for it. For me,
no, I'm not saying you can't critique him. I'm just saying some of this shit is unwarranted. Like some of this stuff.
Well, some people
act like they want him to burn at the stake and shit.
To be fair, it's the same situation that happened with the Wii U as the console, where people had a bunch of shit they wanted to say to the Wii, but they couldn't really run their mouths because the Wii was selling. And as soon as the Wii U didn't come out the gate with the same kind of heat,
let's give it to him.
There was so much aggression.
I can let all this shit out now.
Yeah, so I understand. I understand what it is. I understand what the situation is.
Yeah.
But that's that unfortunately that's kind of how we still gotta remember this is the business at the end of the day. They're trying to make money.
They killed Project Hammer and all. Where y'all getting this shit from? Project Hammer was trash. It was a good game. We'd be playing that shit. All right? Like Nintendo's not gonna kill a good game. Project Hammer was not a good game, obviously. Like,
so I don't
let that shit go.
Yeah, see, I don't co-sign on all that extra shit.
I'm just saying, I'm talking about as a whole from the Miyamoto critiques that I hear. This, years of bullshit.
I think some of them are warranted, but a lot of them get overblown because people have a vendetta. I mean, remember when people were on that whole thing about how Reggie and Iwata need to step down and Miyamoto needs to step down?
Those
everybody was on that kick. People were on that kick. So, and people, you know what you like to do? People like to watch dumpster fires and people crash and burn. So you're going to sit there and defend Miyamoto? Fuck no. I'm going to talk about shit that gets on my nerves too, God damn it. Because guess what? I'm a YouTuber. So I get it.
Miyamoto used to hate on Rare. Did you hear that shit?
And people that Rare situation still kills me because people are acting like Nintendo let Rare go. No, I'm like, no, Microsoft had more money. Microsoft bought Rare. That wasn't a situation where Nintendo couldn't keep up with Microsoft to buy them. That's all that was. So
it was a bit more than that. It was a lot more than that. But let's not talk about Rare now because otherwise we were gonna go like half hour. But all I was gonna say was
half hour. I want that to be stated.
Like you said, the internet. This is when I fucking hate the internet, right? Where people are quick to jump on someone who has shaped modern video games, and he hasn't become trash. He's still there. He's still prevalent, and yeah, he makes one or two mistakes depending on who you fucking are. But there's some things where even though I want a new F-Zero, right? And even when I say I want a new F-Zero, all I'm saying is I want it in HD and I want it with online and that'd be new enough for me.
Yeah.
You know, at the same time, I can see it from their point of view is that GX is still the best futuristic racing game ever made. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Yes.
There's no better futuristic racing game ever made, right? Than that game, and that's on a fucking GameCube. So we could either just have more of the same, or we could wait for them to bring out their Metroid Prime of F-Zero, and then for us to go, holy fucking shit, I'm so glad that they went like this at the right time. And sometimes, I know the wait is fucking agonizing, but sometimes from their point of view, I can understand the things that they say. So I'm not going to host stuff like that against Miyamoto. I'm going to cry and think, fuck, I want a Zero, but I'm not going to host shit like that against him. Wii Music, like you said, who gives a fucking shit? It was just a Wii game. They would do another Wii game, and they had a wealth.
There was
of
way
other
worse shit to care about on Wii.
Yeah.
Get mad about on Wii than Wii Music.
We had fucking Mario Galaxy. Why are you fucking bringing up Wii Music for? Fuck off. And fucking the shit people bring up. Like I said, man, when these motherfuckers go, you know, you're gonna be fucking crying.
You're
You
gonna
think
be
you're
crying
crying over
then.
Reggie.
Oh yeah.
Crying over Reggie. Fuck Reggie. You know,
You're gonna be.
Wow, damn you.
It's like be careful what you wish for. I know there's people that like even more hardcore than anyone here. Like, oh, once Miyamoto's gone, we're gonna, you know, that's gonna free up Nintendo's development teams and all that. And I'm careful what you wish for, man. I mean,
will we have Splatoon right now from Miyamoto? Probably not.
The one good thing is Nintendo is still that old school mindset to take on like an apprentice, if you will, teach them your ways of game development, make them like work for years and years on the lower end, and then promote them. And so everyone's like, oh, the Splatoon 2, that's young blood. But those guys are like in their 40s. Like they're not 20-year-olds. Like those are older guys. You know, look at the guy who's always doing the Splatoon promotion stuff with the treehouse, and the guy's got to be at least he might be in his 50s.
Yeah, like they're 26 and shit.
Yeah, like that's the new blood. Is a bunch of guys that've been there for 20 years. So that's how they do it. So they do it the right way. So there's a chance that, you know, it could be passed on and the greatness will continue. But
Miyamoto, he's a Jedi master. Jedis, they fuck up. You know, obviously they mess up, but you know, we need those. We need guys like him in the industry. Because I mean, these are the same people that like will diss him and then like jizz all over fucking what's his name? Kojima and shit. He's made one fucking game his entire career. Like fuck you guys.
And we'll find out what he's truly capable of when he's in Death Stranding eventually.
Well, we got
Zone
of the Enders, which was an average Met game.
Oh no! Wait, I'd like to go to the Enders.
I mean, I'm not hating on it, but it wasn't nothing special. It was special to Kojima because he ain't done shit else but fucking Metal Gear his whole goddamn career, and people jizz all over this dude like he's
especially Jeff Keighley.
It pisses me off. We got Miyamoto who's made like iconic characters, iconic franchises throughout.
Oh god!
So it's from different genres and redefines them every few years, and you got fucking Kojima making a fucking sorry ass tactical shooting game from the beginning.
Why don't you tell us about how you feel about Inafune?
Oh my god! That fucking Inafune is such a goddamn fraud. He got exposed when he got his own game and shit.
He's a businessman.
Completely exposed. The guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's a businessman, just like your boy said. He don't know nothing about no creativity and creating no damn characters.
What about Igarashi trying to make
Bloodstained?
Bloodstained?
They did come out first.
And then we got iconic people like Yu Suzuki and shit having to beg for money to make a game and all this kind of bullshit.
I beat Kiwi and shit. Fucking
Yuji Naka and shit begging for a cameo on that garbage ass Sonic movie. Like what the fuck? what is the world coming to?
Speaking of Bloodstain, I gotta give the what did I just say his name was?
Igarashi.
Yeah. He came out and he said, "Hey, we heard your guys' complaints about Bloodstain. It looked a little bland. You know, here's what we did." And they definitely improved it.
And my goodness, it looks nice.
The game still has the same issue where the character just looks like she's moving super slow and limited. animation. You know, it just doesn't look. It just looks. I don't know. It doesn't look that compelling, but they definitely improved the art direction significantly. So I mean, I gotta give him props. He admitted the game
They
looked
put
kind
some
of
work
ugly,
in.
and they're trying to rectify. And he actually, what did it say? Looked like poop or something in the video. Like it was.
Yeah, people were pretty harsh on it.
It was
I mean,
pretty
that's-
funny.
They were pretty hard. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if you played Symphony of the Night, I mean, it's essentially an action RPG, but like for reals though. So like her movement may look like that now because she's at like level 1, but like when she starts doing that shit like Alucard does, like the backdash and all
That
that
is
other
true.
crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's intentionally, but the reason why I said don't bring up Igarashi yet is because let that game fail before we shit on it.
Yeah.
Like,
He ain't failed yet.
No.
He got a pass.
he needs to take the L before we sit there shit talking him. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
It ain't Mighty Number 9 yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not even.
It
I
looks
don't think-
significant.
I don't think it's gonna be anywhere near.
My number 9
Mighty
didn't look good from jump.
Nah.
That was the sad. That's what
The only
bummed
thing
me
that looked
the-
good about Mighty Number 9 was the concept art.
The concept
and then
art looked good.
Yeah, because that was the name of the fucking development team, wasn't it? Concept.
Concepts. That's true. I didn't even thought of that before. They're good at concepts. That's about it. Not the final product, not so much.
People are still memeing talking about when we gonna get that Vita and 3DS version, y'all. When we gonna get that? It probably would have worked better as a 3DS game. The fuck?
Probably. It probably
Yeah.
should have been a 3DS game.
My God.
They definitely vastly improved Bloodstain. I linked it in the chat for anyone that hadn't seen the video. And I do like the way he made this video. He's like sitting there and drinking some wine. Like, yeah, we heard you.
Yeah, I like his swag. I will say.
Got swag.
Hey, listen, we're not gonna get another Castlevania game, so I'm gonna take this. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
mean,
Konami I think we'll get a Castlevania game, but it won't be a good one. I think.
It'll be a remake or another compilation.
Put it this way,
Konami ain't making no new games.
Yeah, like it's gonna be one of those either Nintendo, Sony, or Xbox gonna have to come to them and be like, "Listen, we'll give you some money, make a game for us." Like that's
Konami actually developing something. That shit ain't happening, bro.
What was the last game they put out? Actually,
Super Bomberman.
Super Bomberman.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they ported it later on. That's what
and it was kind of dog shitish when it first came out, and they cleaned it up though when it sold really well. They're like, oh
yeah, I mean it did all right. I think and I don't know if Nintendo is willing to put out some more money for Bomberman. I mean, obviously,
nah.
Castlevania's at least selling out the fucking Belmonts to Smash, so
it only sold that well because nostalgia, and it was a launch Switch game. That's the only reason.
And I'll give the developers some credit. Them motherfuckers supported the hell out of that game.
They supported it, yeah.
I respect that, but god damn it, why do you work for Konami?
Yeah. Some people ain't got no choice, man.
I know. These streets out here rough.
Look at the people that work for Kojima making the same bullshit for the last 25 years.
They've been making the same Death Stranding for what, 5 years, and it's still not
right.
This is why people. I don't understand when people shitted on the Wii U for taking so long with their IPs for their games to come out, and I'm like, bruh, you're still waiting on Last of Us 2. You're still waiting on Ghost of Tsushima. You just
they got third party though. They got third party.
Man, get the fuck out of here, y'all. They ain't nothing to
waiting on that one game.
The longest we had to wait was like, I think was for X. X was the longest. No, Tokyo Mirage Sessions was the longest.
Yeah, that one.
Dude, they crying about games and they bought.
And that was only like 3, and that was
year.
3 years. That's what pissed me off. It was only 3 years, and you've been waiting almost 5 for some of these other fucking titles.
And it wasn't what we wanted. We wanted Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem. We didn't really get.
Bruh, I'm so
that's
mad.
what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna
That
say.
game is so good. God damn
It's a
it.
great game though. I'm not mad at all. Like
I think we waited more for X specifically because with X we still got what we were originally waiting for.
You're still waiting for Shin Megami Cross Fire Emblem.
Yeah, not really. I loved the hell out of it.
Yeah,
I
Tokyo
mean,
Mirage Sessions was great.
That was my game of the year.
That was
son.
good.
It didn't have a whole lot of Fire Emblem in it, though. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that
I would argue that.
that was fine though. It was a great RPG.
It had fair representation. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You know what we're still waiting on though?
What?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 that was announced.
Seriously.
that'll be
Yeah, what
short.
happened to that?
We don't
shit?
need that this year though. Yeah, goddamn. It's too
Well,
much.
yeah, honestly, we don't.
That
I
shit
mean,
got
think about
revealed and nowhere to be found again.
Well, think about it, because June and July are already fucking stacked, yo.
Yeah,
Well, Nintendo
stacked.
said they got games coming out this year that have yet to be announced.
I hope that's not one of them.
Games? Are they ports? Shit.
I don't know.
No,
Better
they
be.
got game.
Any more new
I
games.
love how they. Did you see the outline for E3? And they said the direct it'll be focusing only on software. Like they went out of their way to say, again,
for like
there's
a
no
hardware,
hardware
like
to be
They
discussed.
had to because of these fucking news tubers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
They
you
had no
think it's
choice.
also like because they're not focusing on like Labo shit and that kind of stuff?
It's because they're not coming out with the Switch
No,
Mini.
they're
Like
talking about Switch
people
Mini
thought
or
are coming out.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't
You know,
get that.
Super Metal
I guess
Dave.
so little about that shit. Didn't even think of that.
Right.
Just I don't know if it was like 2-3 weeks ago. In my
It feels like it's been
suggested
like
feed, I
long.
saw Super Metal Dave something Switch Pro. So I was like, all right. I go to his channel.
Shouldn't have done it.
And in a 7-day span, he had
shouldn't.
5 videos on the Switch Pro. And then like a week or two later, I seen another new video of some NVIDIA something. And I'm just like, dude. And I looked again. It's like, I don't know,
We've been
12
down
out of
this
14.
road before.
And I'm like, dude, that's your entire channel is every
be
single rumor,
Oh, yeah,
thing,
100%.
speculation for
That's
the
it.
Switch Pro.
Hate, isn't he? He gets some hate on his channel and on Twitter and everywhere.
You know why? Because he got
Well,
busted
yeah, because-
out for being wrong.
Yeah, it's because he's cried wolf. That's the
he
reason why.
lied before.
But he just keeps making the same video.
Oh no,
It's the same video.
He's doubling down on it.
And he's not giving up. You got to give him some credit for just being
Hell
so,
no.
so
He had-
consistently
He had
wrong.
this super secret. Sony's gonna put out their own Switch
The
like
Switch
console.
Killer 2 years ago.
Yeah, and people was like waiting, and nothing happened. And people
This
were
dude
really,
is literally the Nintendo version of Crap Gamer, and still people are still watching it though.
Thousands of views.
Listen,
Thousands.
retro. But I
think
want to
he's a little
talk
smarter
about.
than that.
Right now, I want to talk about the greatness of Game Pass and why it shits on everything. All right, that's what I want.
Oh,
to talk
Yeah, that was
God.
I was gonna bring that up
uh-oh.
because I'm getting fucking sick of
Uh-oh.
hearing about Game Pass.
about. Yo,
Uh-oh.
that's right.
Oh no,
You know,
we're gonna make it all the way through without it.
you know.
The fire.
Nice one, Terrell. Nice.
Let
one.
me just say this: if you can't
Thanks,
even
Terrell.
if you can't even admit that Game Pass is a game rental service, then I don't give a shit anything else you say about it. If you can't even admit that, then everything else you say is shit to me. Like, it's a rental service, and its biggest flaw is it's got such a sliver of fucking games that are available, and I just don't understand why it's being hyped up so much by at least one particular YouTuber. It's like it's not. It's just another alternative to playing games. It doesn't have any exclusives. It's not like Netflix or Hulu. It has no content you can't get anywhere. It just has like
yeah.
it has like a. I mean, out of the 1,000 games that are probably out this generation, it has like 150, and I'd say half of that 150, whatever, are old, last gen,
Shooters.
previous gen, like just old games, like Banjo Tooie, you know, rare replay type games. It's like I can pay $1 for 3 months. All right, I look at the lineup. I don't even feel compelled to pay the $1. Like if the game is interesting to me, I've already played it and own it on that list. Like I just don't understand why
on
it's
your
so
queue
fucking-
to buy.
I want to acknowledge the fundamental flaw with Game Pass. For a gamer to talk about Game Pass is a contradiction within itself, because Game Pass isn't for gamers, because a gamer would have bought these games already.
It's very casual to me.
It's for the casual. So for you to sit there and run your mouth talking about how it's such a god tier service, I'm like, well, let's say I'm interested in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, right? When it first came out, what I bought it when it first came out, and now
you gotta wait.
Yeah.
That game.
Think about
I think was 4 months from release till it
I
hit
haven't
Game
bought it. I
Pass.
actually
That was
just bought it
quicker.
yesterday, but
That was actually quicker than the rest because that game didn't sell for shit.
I'll give another example. Yo, man, I heard the Devil May Cry 5 is getting great reviews. I'm super excited. You know what I can do? I can go on Xbox Game Pass and look at Devil May Cry 4.
That's what I wanted to say. I don't think I don't think Game Pass is for the casuals. I think it's even more sad. I think Game Pass is for the diehard Xbox fans who just aren't willing to buy Xbox
Yeah,
games because
That's pretty much.
It's funny you said sad. Xbox One sad. That's who it's for. It's for people who have, who don't care about,
Owning
just
the game.
owning the game. They just have, like, I just want to play through a bunch of shit that's on my hard drive. And isn't a PC better for that? That's just
Perhaps
me.
it's like that next level. You could look at it as like that next level of Steam sale, I suppose, where a lot of people will literally wait for the Steam sale. The games need to be dirt fucking cheap before they even bother to buy those games. And I mean dirt fucking cheap.
And you know what happens when a game has that lack of appeal to you and you wait till it's $2? You end up not even playing it anyway because the fuck, it's $2. Like, you didn't care. If you cared, you would have paid top dollar for a game.
Yeah.
You might find a gem. Like, I will say this. When I had that free trial of Game Pass, I was like, all right, this is a cool way to maybe I wish I would have played Snake Pass on Game Pass instead of buying it, because that's a game I bought and played, and I was like, I kind of regret that I bought it, But it wasn't a game I was super excited for. It wasn't an expensive game anyway. It was like $15 or whatever. But it's just, for me, I play Rocket League almost probably every other day, average. I play Smash Brothers. Then when I'm not playing those games, I'm working my way through Yoshi, which I got 4 gems now. I still got to get the last one. Not loving the game, but I play it, and then I'm working through the Tomb Raider DLC because I bought the season pass and Trials Rising. I don't have room in my schedule to like force some full playthrough of a game, like a last gen game that I never played, like let's say Saints Row 3 or whatever.
You don't want to play the Crew 2?
Like, actually, that was kind of fun. I wouldn't pay for that game, but if I had Game Pass, that would be one game I'd probably play a few times. It's like most of the games I won't even download. But like Saints Row 3, I don't know if that's on Game Pass. Just come out on Switch. I don't care if I have Game Pass. I'm not going to play it, and I'm obviously not going to go buy the Switch version. I just don't care enough about that. I just don't have all this time in my gaming. Even right now, it's a little slow. I just don't feel the need to fit in a bunch of games. Like, I don't know. Just to me, it's like it almost forces you to
experimenting. You don't really have
most
time.
Gamers have back catalogs anyway, so
Right.
like, I'm not sweating. Oh, I can't go play Devil May Cry for fucking, what is that, $1 for 3 months when I can go buy the newest version. Well, that, and also just I want to mention this. You can't use that Play Anywhere feature that Xbox has on Game Pass.
On PC.
Oh,
PC
for real? I didn't even know
only
that.
the Xbox exclusives work on the PC.
Oh.
The
So
PC version of Game Pass it's like Candy Crush and shit. Solitaire. It's like pathetic.
So if let's say I wanted to buy, no, I wouldn't do this, but let's say I wanted to buy Sea of Thieves on Xbox. It probably would be a better sell to just buy it on Xbox and then use the Play Anywhere feature,
Right.
instead of buying it instead of using Game Pass.
Well, here's the other thing about Game Pass. I said it
go
had
ahead.
the sliver of the library. All right. So big games that come out. Devil May Cry 5 was one. Red Dead Redemption 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Resident Evil 2, Dead or Alive 6.
None of
Whatever
those
the
games are on Game Pass.
last Far Cry game. None of those games are on Game Pass. And
So I gotta wait.
They
And
will be in a
maybe-
year, though.
Maybe in a year, Mortal Kombat 11, I have a feeling will eventually, because I think
Oh,
10
yeah,
on
because
there.
Mortal Kombat X is on there right now.
So maybe in a year, maybe 6 months, maybe if you really want to play Mortal Kombat 11, you're gonna wait till the vast
Nobody's
majority
playing
of
it.
people aren't playing it online
and
anymore.
The kicker is that because these are all third-party titles, most of these games will get price drops before even halfway through this year.
All right.
So why the fuck? Like I could just wait.
$30.
I could wait 6 months and buy it for $30 on Steam,
And it's
then
yours.
wait a year to get the opportunity to stream it, or I guess to
Actually,
download.
the biggest plus is there's no negative to. It's not streaming. You're not getting a lesser version. You download the
Right.
full version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The price, the initial price is cheap. They're trying to get people in. It's $10 a month. So maybe there's a deal. I don't know how you find. What I see, it's $9.99 a month, or I think if you buy a year, it comes out to be less. I don't know if it's 60. I don't know if it's 60 a year or whatever.
It is 60, right?
But I'm just like, if it had like I'm not saying it could or should have every single major game, but it would need to have a shit ton more for me to pay $10 a month for. I mean, let's be real.
And the kicker is that third-party companies are not gonna give Xbox the rights to just have their game on Game Pass available day and date.
I heard that it's like if Microsoft
money.
I heard if they advertise the game, then they also make the deal to have Game Pass. So Division 2, I think, was advertised by Microsoft. So eventually, this is what someone told me. I didn't look it up. That those games, if Microsoft has the exclusive ad, then they also get the Game Pass deal done. So whether that's true or not, but again, Division 2, you're going to play that a year from now, 6 months from now, when no one's playing it anymore. That's a fully online only game.
Yeah, that's the kicker. You're talking about games like even Microsoft's most popular titles are games that have very limited lifespans. Like shooters do not, like, as soon as a new one is announced, the other one gets dropped almost immediately.
Yeah, like I think one of the older Battlefields was on there or something. It's like, and I'm sorry, I don't know if Red's listening to this, but when you basically say you can't understand or whatever you phrase it, someone would buy Hellblade on the Switch for $30 when they could for 99 cents they can play it on Xbox, and I'm like, so now you're shaming people for wanting to buy a game on their preferred platform.
Because the argument, if I remember correctly in the video, his argument was, "Oh, why would you spend $30 for Wolfenstein 2, the worst version? The game runs like ass, and then when you could just spend like $10 and play the same game." And I'm like, well, because the Switch still offers me something that the Xbox One version doesn't. Like, or no, let me phrase that: the Game Pass version of the game, and I think that's what ticks me off. It's like you can't sit there and act like this is such a god tier service.
Yeah, now buying games is you're basically dumb, and you're not a I don't know, smart game, whatever. Like, people still like to buy and own their games, and just because this service exists and it's cheap doesn't mean it has the games someone wants to play. Like if Kingdom Hearts 3 was your most anticipated game,
was for a lot of people,
and it's like, and then if you have a PS4 and you're like me, you got an Xbox One S, you want to talk about the inferior version. The Xbox One S is the inferior version unless it's on the Switch. Xbox has always been the inferior version, so I wouldn't even buy it on the Xbox anyway. Like, unless it had something to do with online or something. Unless it's so close that it doesn't matter. But I'm just
your only platform.
You got to get that X, yo. The
Xbox is the inferior. For me, it is the inferior version. I wish I didn't buy Trials Rising on the Xbox. It's got so bad of screen tearing and glitches that they haven't fixed that the other versions don't have. And I'm just like, I'm not, honestly, I don't plan on ever buying another Xbox One game. It's really, I'm doing some backwards
another Xbox console,
and I've had 3 controllers.
I was already ahead of the game, and y'all. I told you that it's a garbage ass.
Now I don't mind. I'm not hating on what Phil's saying about the future. Like, your purchases on Xbox One will be there on the Nexus. I like hearing that stuff.
Yeah,
I want to see it. I want to see it happen because it took them 5.5 years to bring Trials Evolution to the Xbox One. My only Xbox Live purchase 5.5 years later that finally showed up. So I can't give them credit for something they haven't actually done yet, but I like what he's saying with that. I like the idea of with the cloud save, all my progress was there on Trials Evolution. I like that. Keep doing stuff like that, but I'm sorry, just when you sit there and act like Game Pass is just so superior and basically using it as a way to shit on Nintendo even more in their online service and stuff, it's just, come on, dude.
I do want to be fair here and say I will give Xbox a lot of credit in terms that a lot of the moves they've been making are very pro-consumer. I can completely understand why someone would be very keen on Microsoft only for that reason, but my issue is probably the same issue that a lot of people have, is that, like, one, I have no reason to buy the console. Like, Game Pass isn't a selling point. Like, people like to, I think that was my main issue with Red's video. Red Hat like that was such a huge selling point for the console. I could go build a PC and feel like I've invested my money in a better system because at least the PC I can use for multiple different things, and the games will eventually be cheaper on there anyway.
And
how much you got paid for online? Oh, nothing.
Oh, oh,
Nothing.
yeah, I literally during the podcast I went to my Microsoft account and removed my credit card information I used to buy Trials Rising, and
you got to do that.
I had my Xbox Live subscription set to not auto rebuild, but I have a feeling they would have anyway, so I just took my credit card off.
And you can't even do that shit from the console. You got to go to a goddamn web page to do that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, happy you like your Xbox and stuff, but I'm sorry, it's just.
And also because I know that if Xbox starts the next generation on top, how's this gonna go? They'll do the same thing you could argue Nintendo and Sony both did, where a lot of these cool pro consumer things they're doing, we slowly start changing the rules. Shit. Remember, it took Xbox the longest to make Netflix free to even fucking use because it was tied to your gold subscription, I believe.
And guess what this pro consumer stuff does is it doesn't make a lot of money. Yeah. And the shareholders could eventually just step in, and Phil Spencer could be out tomorrow and the new guy could completely reverse all this stuff. So I don't know.
Xbox has lately has been my third party box. Early, the original Xbox had great exclusives on it. Xbox 360 had exclusives for a little while, and then they stopped having them towards the end of the generation. And Xbox One is just like, man, ain't got nothing that's overly compelling as far as first party content. Make me want to buy your console. So
yeah, I can't remember exactly what was said at one part, but I think we need to be careful on demeaning other software on other consoles, whether it's considered by that person inferior to a different version. Because
I'm telling you from a first person, somewhat Xbox fan perspective, what I've seen from the beginning and what they have now. Now they've been making some purchases, they're buying studios, so they're trying to shore up their first party again. But what brought me into Xbox is not there right now. So
yeah, no, sorry, I was the path I was going down was where we were talking about Wolfenstein, I believe, where I think Juice said that that it was mentioned that that the Switch version is crap because it's the weaker version and all this stuff. But we need to be careful with that because
I don't do that. That's Juice using graphics. So
yeah, no, I don't
that's
think
what Red said.
Yeah, that's what Red Knight said about.
But we need.
I thought you said Juice.
Because we buy games on certain platforms for certain reasons because they all offer different things for many things. And we went through the whole Wii generation, playing Call of Duty and Red Steel 2 and all this stuff. As much as we love Red Steel 2, you stick it next to something on the Xbox 360, it looks like fucking trash. So you need to. It doesn't mean that the game is shit. The reason why we played on the Wii was for a specific reason. So we need to. It's no good to just write off software just because you can get it, just because it looks better and you can get it for cheaper on one platform. Sometimes that don't matter. You want something on a specific platform for a specific reason, and if it has got some cuts, something else is making it more enticing for that particular reason, and that's why we have multiple platforms.
Yeah, because you could have been doing that for a long time with Nintendo, especially N64 era. The PS1 version of the games were cheaper, and they had like full motion video. They had all kinds of stuff that N64 version they have, but I didn't give a shit because I didn't like them wonky ass walls.
The N64. I was a PC gamer back then, and you have to remember how PC software come onto the N64.
Right,
games
like N64 got a lot of PC games.
Like Quake 2 and 2 Rock and stuff like that. I could have got them on a PC. My PC was fine, but I wanted them on my N64 for for specific reasons, whether it's rumble packs, whether it's analog sticks, whether it's local multiplayer, well, all that stuff. There's reasons why you take sacrifices in some areas for the greater benefit of
Yeah,
others.
each game could be a completely different set of things. Your decisions could be based on something completely different from one game to the next on which platform you're going to get it for. Like if I was going to buy another fighting game, like an online focused fighting game, I'm not going to buy it on PC and never play it with anyone. But if like Terrell, let's say Dead or Alive 6 or something was on Switch, like I'd get it on the Switch version just to have friends to play it with and not have to pay for online.
Just like people have bought Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch, there's many reasons, not just having portable. There's many reasons why they'd want that version. Like you said, because you've even got more friends on there, they could play it locally, whatever. There's different reasons why you have these different platforms to decide which games you want to play on whatever platform. No platform is perfect, which is why we mix and match it. It's why it's always been up.
If I'm gonna buy Hellblade, I'm gonna buy the PC version for that particular game. Is the storytelling is a lot of it's audio, but they definitely put a lot into motion cap and stuff. And why wouldn't I play it? If I have 3 options, I got that. Well, at the time, the
One is that your
Xbox version is definitely the weakest. Has reduced foliage. The overall look of the game is a lot muddier. PS4 is not bad, and then the PC looks phenomenal. So I was just like, for that particular game, that matters the most. For Trials Rising, I didn't care that it didn't look as good. I just want to play with the Xbox controller. I want to play on my TV because I knew I'd be sinking a lot of hours, and it just sucks that it has some screen tearing and some other glitches for that specific version. But I made the decision to buy the Xbox version for Doom Eternal. It's gonna be PC, and maybe I'll get on the Switch someday because of the motion controls, the gyro aiming. I don't, so
PC and Switch for me.
We all pick our battles depending on the games. Like there's a reason why I could have bought Dragon Quest 11 on PS4. It's been out. It's cheap as hell now. But I want to wait for the Switch version because I like playing
here.
I like playing. First off, I like playing RPGs on my Switch. That's just I've always been a handheld gamer since I was little, and RPGs are like the best games to play handheld.
Yep.
And plus, that is the definitive version. That's the other reason. Which you can't say that often, depending on the title. Certain titles work better in certain situations. Story-focused single-player games can work amazingly on PC because you get the full graphical fidelity and you can fully immerse yourself into it. The problem, and I think that was my main issue with Xbox from the beginning. It's like, at least the Switch, even though the Switch was weaker and didn't look as good, it offered me something that I couldn't get anywhere else. Xbox literally just offers me the weaker version of the same game on PlayStation 4, and I was like, I don't know if I care that much. So at least that was my reasoning.
Yeah, if I was going to buy Devil May Cry 5 at PS4, I mean, I wouldn't even consider the Xbox version for that.
Ain't no fucking.
So
why you make you waste your money like that? How dare that?
Anyway, we better wrap this up. We're not gonna do final thoughts. We went a little long.
On it.
I know it's late. In the UK. So
across the pond.
Sorry for going into that Xbox rant, but we'll be going back into Xbox when we do our E3 predictions in a couple weeks. We'll start with Xbox and Nintendo, and obviously Sony doesn't have one, so maybe we'll do one for just third parties, or I don't know.
We'll do one for Stadia. We'll do one for Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Google Stadia.
Well, third party, that'll just be Microsoft's. Microsoft will, they're gonna show 2 hours of fucking multiplayer.
Sea of Thieves DLC.
So sorry if we offended anybody with our take on Game Pass or Smash with items or anything.
We're just giving our
sorry,
personal opinion. It's not like
so. Anyway, that's gonna be it. We'll be back next week, and so have a good night.